Hey, what it do?
Ahoy!
What's up?
Get this out of the way right now. USA! USA!
Hell yeah.
Suck it, Serbia.
Let's go.
That was freaking awesome.
I'm fired up. You know what? That
That-
was awesome.
That was more, like, I don't know what you would call it. That was just more of an investment for me than I've had in an NBA game. I don't know, 20 years?
It had some
Like,
juice.
I mean,
Dude.
I remember watching the Blazers-Lakers Western Conference Finals. I remember that and just being like, holy hell, like every moment. You know, the Blazers had a couple playoff games, obviously like the Damian Lillard wave shot and like the Houston one. I don't know if I was like full in. It was more like you're a media member, you're watching it. I'm sitting in my house watching that thing and just like full on standing up, fist bumping like a champ, Jersey Shore style. I just don't do that.
I was sitting there wondering who were going to come for pitchforks with, whether it was going to be LeBron or Kerr, or who's going to have to answer for this, and then they turned it around.
Yeah. Dude, that was freaking awesome.
Hey, we're talking about Team USA basketball.
That's right. Not water polo. Wait, is water polo still going on?
Well, the volleyball team's in the gold medal game.
Can I be honest about something?
No,
Men's volleyball, indoors.
it's amazing.
Eh.
Well, this was women's, wasn't it?
What? I thought you said the men's team. I'm watching the
I
women.
didn't say men's.
The
I said
women's is right now.
Yeah, that's a replay.
Yeah, that
USA wins this.
I
so-
hate that it's never obvious on the app what's a replay and what's live.
Look at that.
Yeah, I know.
I only know that that's
Like,
a replay
and-
because I saw the headline.
And this makes me a sexist pig. I understand, but every time I watch female volleyball, I fall in love like 7 times. So when I flip over to the men's game, and I'm not in love, maybe I should be. It lacks something. I'm used to watching female volleyball, and I struggle to go over to the male game.
Well, the thing about I got sidetracked by that
It happens all the time to me.
big gal in the middle for Brazil.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Uh-huh.
Hubba.
Yep.
At any rate,
Right in the butt.
I think the
Whoa.
come
Hey.
on, man.
Jeez, Buckley.
Misfire.
Man,
That was not a misfire.
we're all uncomfortable now.
Yeah. So, well, we were talking about volleyball.
Volleyball, yeah.
What was I gonna say?
I don't know.
Buckley.
I was saying, yeah. I was saying
Derailed me.
the men's game.
Oh, the men. Well, I think the men's game is more fun to watch in a sense that we talked about this the other day.
It's incredible. The athleticism.
It's unbelievable to
Yes.
watch them and how the
Yes.
power with which they hit the ball.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I don't really know how they ever get it back.
No.
Like and how high they jump when
Dude,
they spike.
They take off from seemingly
Dude.
like 11 feet from the net. And they just drift towards it, and then they hit absolute just missiles. It is amazing.
Yeah,
But
it's
it
really
lacks an element of hotness that I've come to expect
they're hot too.
out of my volleyball.
They're hot.
I know.
They're just dudes.
I'm gay. I'm gay.
Well, maybe it leads me to be it confuses me when I watch it, and I'm trying not to be confused, so then I have to go back to female volleyball. I'm like, these emotions, these feelings.
Well, I actually think volleyball is a cool sport to watch, whether it's beach or indoor.
Yeah.
But when the men's indoor,
These dudes are crazy.
the power that they play with is incredible.
Yeah.
And I was reading an article about the Swedish guys. Have you seen what the Swedish bros are doing?
What are my Swedes up to?
I don't know if this is beach or if it's indoor. I don't really care. The whole article was about how they have revolutionized the sport. And you're not anyone.
Yeah. Is this the Swedish jump set helps?
Yes.
Okay.
The jump set. Yeah. So you're not anyone unless you if you're a real sport.
You're doing great. Like an innovator? What?
A
like-
really real volleyball head.
I am
Just legend.
okay.
You transform the game,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like Steph Curry changed the game.
Yes, you did.
So that's one way you can delineate between just stars,
Mhm.
good ones, and the true greats.
Yeah.
They changed the game. These Swedish guys,
I see it right here. It says
they're,
this is the article. A pair of 22-year-old Swedes have risen to the top of beach volleyball
volleyball.
with an innovative technique that could prove as
Yeah.
revolutionary as the forward pass in football or the Fallsbury flop in high jumping.
It's Fosbury, not Fallsbury.
Oh yeah, Fosbury. How am I not aware of
I
my
agree with
Swedish
that.
bros and my Swedish jump set?
So what they do, and I can't believe no one has done this prior.
It's like
But what they do is on, volleyball, bump, set, spike, right?
absolutely.
When they set,
Mhm.
the setter actually jumps so that the defense doesn't know if he's going to spike it or set it.
Okay.
And so it's really hard to defend because he can just read the defense. And if the defender comes over to block his spike, he just sets it and the other bro knocks it down.
Well, it probably throws off timing, right? Because if they think a spike is coming and they jump and then the set comes instead, then they're on their descent when the other guy's spiking it down.
Yeah, it's apparently it's impossible to defend, and these guys can't lose now.
This is like an RPO in football. Same sort
Little
of thing.
bit, yeah.
Like the Chip Kelly speed game when it first started.
Just reading the end. We're handing it off or we're taking it around the corner. I had no idea. In all these Olympics, I was not aware that my Swedes, I saw that the Swedes were kicking ass at table tennis and badminton, which is a bit shocking.
That's really cool, though.
I had no idea that we were revolutionizing volleyball.
Yeah. And again, I don't really understand why somebody hasn't figured that out sooner, but okay, here we are, 2024. Anyway, back to Team USA.
Oh, yeah. I don't even know how we got on that in the first place.
Those guys, so the basketball team, the men's basketball team, if you didn't see it, you
Yeah.
might not have,
Yeah.
because it was on at noon.
Mhm.
They won. They beat Serbia 95-91.
Mhm.
Now, guys, I got to tell you, it was a nail-biter.
It didn't look good.
Not at all.
No. I had no idea. I had taken for granted.
You certainly did, because you gave them the gold
I did.
yesterday on the show.
I was poo-pooing. So I was working out and then I went to get my beard trimmed. And as I sat down in the chair and they spun me around and they had the TV on there, it was halftime. And I was like,
We're down 11?
13, I think. 11 or 13.
11. It
They
was
were
13
down,
right before. But
They
yeah.
were down 13 at the end of the third quarter.
yeah. And the lady who trims my beard, Jean, shout out to Jean, she's awesome. She's got Olympic fever.
Girl, you something else.
I think everyone does.
Yeah, she was all about it.
Dude, this game's, I don't know what it is about the 2024 Olympics,
Yeah.
but it is captivating,
Yeah.
and it is grabbing everyone.
Yeah. Oh yeah, me
I
and
think the
Jean.
drama's legit this time. I mean, I don't think it always is. We've had some
Well,
really good drama.
Can I add that I think it's, like, dude, I got goosebumps today watching the U.S. men's basketball team win.
Yep.
A lot of it is Steph-induced, because I love Steph. I think Steph Curry, in my lifetime, is one of the coolest athletes to watch. I just love him. I love his game. I love what he's done for basketball. And I think he's a good dude. He had 36 today. He hits a huge three he hit the go-ahead three with 2 minutes and 20 seconds left. And then at the end of the game, it went right down to the wire.
Oh yeah.
They win. That dude is going crazy. Like, he is so fired up for that win. And the camera was following him around. I got goosebumps.
It was awesome because there was some talk. He had been pretty crappy, and there was some talk of if this game gets close, is he the guy they sit down?
They were so fired up, and that place was electric. And what I would say about maybe why these games are resonating more than other games is, I was thinking about this driving in. If you have Steph Curry and LeBron James and all these big-time, multi-millionaire, pampered stud basketball players going this crazy, and you have Jokic, but you have Djokovic, the Joker, winning a gold and crying. You have, and he's worth God knows how much money.
Greatest tennis player of all time.
Scotty Scheffler is on the medal stand, worth, he's had the year of all years in golf. He's worth more than you and I will ever dream of, and he's crying on the medal stand. You've got, John Rahm with disappointing the entire country of Spain. You've got all these big time athletes. These are like the top of sport athletes. These guys have so much money, they don't need to care. They don't even need to be there. But they're there. They're not playing for crap. They're playing for their country, and they're freaking fired up, and they're crying, and they're chest bumping, and they're going crazy. Dude, that's what it is.
Couldn't agree more.
When those big stars show that kind of care towards the Olympics, guess what's going to happen?
The rest of us.
The rest of the country is going to follow and be like, yes, dude, let's go.
It's the cool kid in school getting hyped up about
It's great.
When you go to like an assembly, what are they, like the pep rallies? They can either be some of the coolest things or the lamest things, and it's all about buy-in. And I'm with you, man. We get buy-in. Like, I was just sitting there today, just in the little barber's chair, and I'm telling you, dude, everyone in that place was watching that thing and talking about it, and it was cool. And I went home, And I would say that's probably the third time this whole Olympics that it was like, okay, I'm getting home, I'm getting in front of a TV, and this is what I'm doing. I'm going to sit down and watch this. And I too love Steph Curry. The other guy I kind of feel for Kevin Durant, because I don't think Kevin Durant will ever get the respect he's due. Kevin Durant is amazing. And there was like a 7-year run. That was the best player in basketball. No offense to Steph Curry, but those two Golden State teams that won titles, Kevin Durant was the best player on that team, and it wasn't
He
close.
won Finals MVP for both of those
Yeah,
teams.
dude, he is the man, and I get it. He's kind of a cheese butt now, and everyone kind of gives him crap. But USA's all-time leading scorer, I saw that Nike put up the billboard for him in Times Square. And I think it was when Curry hit the three to go up, it was either they were up by 1 or 2 and they went down big possession. And when Durant waved everyone off, they were talking about who's going to get involved in the pick and roll. And the Slim Reaper was like, I don't think so. Clear this S out. He waved everyone off and he just went 1-on-1 and hit that little step back too. It was just inside.
Easy jumper.
Dude, he did that. And that was the one that got me. I was like, they won. I was like, that was the one to me that was kind of the dagger. And I know it got.
That was a big shot.
That was a huge shot.
They were
dude.
up 2, and that put them up 4.
That was the one where I stood up from the couch and started doing the Jordan like fist bump wave, Arsenio Hall thing. And I loved it. I loved that Steph had a big game, and I loved that Durant had that moment where he just, no, this is me right here, and I'm gonna knock it down. And it was freaking awesome.
We outscored the Dirty Serbs 28-10 in the fourth quarter.
Ooh, boy.
And I think it's cool. Another element to piggyback off of what you're saying about KD, I thought it was cool. KD hit that big shot, but Chef Curry hit a huge three, as I mentioned, to give him the lead. They don't win without LeBron James.
No.
They just don't. No. LeBron James is doing everything out there. He had a triple-double. Dude, yes. I mean, the guy's unbelievable.
Well, that's what's really cool to me about this entire game and this Olympics. There's clearly a changing of the guard coming in the NBA with the Jason Tatums and the Luka Doncic and these young guys. But the 3 best players on the floor today are the guys who have been the 3 best players in the league for a while.
Well,
and they just showed you why.
That's what I was about to say, is I thought it was really cool that the 3 guys, when they needed it most and their backs were against the wall, the 3 dudes who stepped up were Steph, KD, and LeBron.
But geriatrics.
That was pretty badass. And then to watch guys like Anthony Edwards relegated to the bench, like, dude, you're not even touching the court. No. Then to watch him sort of in awe of those guys, it was a moment out there today.
I also had a brief moment where I was about to show my hypocrisy knows no bounds. Because I said earlier in the Olympics that I feel bad for Embiid, that everyone's just taking a crap on him, right? And that I love that he had that breakout game. And I like Embiid. He seems like a good dude. And like I said, he doesn't get his flowers. And he's having a nice game. When he committed the foul and then the turnover, because he couldn't, he had the turnover where he basically just dribbled it off his leg. And then he went down and he had a foul and he missed a rebound. And I was like, he's going to cost him the game. And in that moment, I may have used a 4-letter word at Joel Embiid. And in that moment, I was like, oh, don't do it. I was like, don't do it. Because everyone was going to pile on Embiid. And like they were like back-to-back plays. And I was like, oh, this is going to be like, he's going to be the one to cost him. And the one was kind of a flop. Remember, the guy pulled the chair out from him. And I'm like, no.
There was a short stretch where it looked like him being unplayable was going to cost him. And then they were going to put him back in. I'm like, no. And then he went off. And he had a nice little stretch at the end there.
He was really good for them, particularly in the third quarter. I mean, he had 19 points. But he does have, especially on this team, or maybe only on this team, he has that element of when he shoots, you're like, no.
Yes, because it kind of bogs everything
you're like,
down.
No, we don't want, give it to LeBron or Curry. Are you watching Steph Curry? He can't miss.
I had a brief moment.
And then he shoots, but you got to give him credit.
They wouldn't be there without him, which is why I said I felt terrible that I was like, effing Embiid. I was like, if you lose, and I was like, stop it. We're not doing this. Positive vibes only. Wouldn't be here without him because he was big in the first half to even keep it close.
Dudes, it was awesome.
It was awesome
game. And we're gonna keep it going next. There's more to talk about here. USA!
Bring on the French.
America, yeah! Bitch.
Yeah, flags! Damn right flags. Where's my trucks? Yeah, trucks, balls, yeah!
Poll question next on The Fan.
Yeah, flags!
Yeah.
Let's get to our polls here. When we get back to Team USA basketball, the hoops pulling it out today in a thriller.
That was so cool.
The 1080 The Fan daily poll question is on X at 1080 The Fan. Yesterday we asked you, how much do you consume behind-the-scenes football content like Hard Knocks and That Team Out West? We have a tie. I believe this is the second straight poll question we've had a tie.
That means that you're really doing your job.
I'll peak on occasion, 36%. Not at all, too sanitized, 36%. And only 28% said, I can't get enough.
Because you're a I can't get enough guy.
I love him.
Yeah. I give it, it's all right.
It was not long ago you were criticized for your poll writing questions, and now it's clear that you are really dominating this space.
People want to ride your poll.
I've stepped up my game.
You really have.
Today, the question is this, just posted there on X. What is most important at these here Olympic Games here?
Why did we go Southern? Like judge all the Southern poverty lawyer there?
Why not?
I do
Honey,
say
go ahead
so.
and turn that lamp off. Is it the United States men's and women's basketball gold?
Mm-hmm.
Is it the U.S. women's soccer gold? Is it the medal count domination? Or college football started yet?
Boy, I would say I'm going to throw in, for me, the medal, because it's not about one thing in particular. I've just enjoyed everything. There's been about a dozen stories, and not all of them are United States based. I've been caught up in a couple other countries as well. So
Traitor.
To me, yeah, there's just great. I root for stories. Now, all things being equal, USA. But I'm in love with Canadian beach volleyball players. There were a couple fun. The St. Lucia, where I was just at a few months ago, they got their first medal in the history of the Olympics. Dude, that whole island is like 250,000 people.
And they got in the 100-meter dash.
100-meter
which is like
dash.
fastest woman in the world.
And then that same gal got a silver
Steroids
in the 200. And when you fly into St. Lucia, she is on the airport. Like there's a big mural of her. And I was talking to some people, and they don't have a soccer team. There's just, it's a poor island nation, and really the only thing they have is they have a couple people that run, but no one's ever won a medal. So when I saw her do that, that was awesome. I mean, and I love me some Sha'Carri Richardson, big fan. But when I saw the St. Lucia gal, Jean, I think was Jean something, when she won that, I was more happy for her than I was bummed for our gal.
Yeah. Well, there are a lot of great stories. A lot of great American stories, too.
Yeah.
I mean, this Olympic Games, it's just been amazing. Somebody else brought up that, I was talking about how the superstars are there.
Mm-hmm.
Sports. I mean, it's not just our country, but Alcaraz and, Joker and John Rahm, Tommy Fleetwood, or, whomever. But those guys being there and caring, that matters. And showing emotion and such. But also the time difference, I think, is working out great.
Yeah.
Because all the stuff is during the day here in the U.S. I think people can generally, I know people at work, but generally they can get their eyes on it. And accessibility, I think NBC is doing an amazing job. Everything's on, and they even replay it. So like you really don't have to hunt for sports, and that I think matters too, which is maybe why.
And the Gold Channel that they've done is fantastic, where you can sit down red zone style and just get caught up on everything.
I think that's maybe why it's such a, this year is just seemingly catching everyone.
Julian Alford was the lady from St. Lucia. Go read into her story. Look at you.
Yeah.
Look at you.
Is she from America? No.
One little island nation, their first ever medal.
Whatever.
That's awesome.
What'd she get?
She won gold. She won the.
She won the whole thing.
She won the 100-meter dash.
Yeah, I can't get behind that.
She beat Sha'Carri Richardson.
She beat Sha'Carri?
Yeah. She's the world's. Think about that. Your first country, the first medal in your country's history, is arguably, maybe not for the women. I think that would be like gymnastics, but one of probably the three pillar events in the Olympics, and that's your country's first medal. And I'm telling you, the people of that country are proud, and they have nothing. She is going to be the queen of that island.
Yeah, flags!
I felt so good for those people.
I think we need to fire Sha'Carri. Pissed off about that. Didn't know that. So Serbia was not ready for our freedom.
No.
And while it did not look good,
bludgeoned them with a bald eagle.
And Team USA is really maddening. Like if you don't watch them, I would suggest not. they have every great player. They have, I think every single guy on the team besides maybe Holiday could win a scoring title in the NBA.
It's pretty ridiculous.
It is ridiculous, but they're maddening. Like they don't win anything without LeBron.
No.
I mean, LeBron James is the engine that makes that thing go. He's the only one that will rebound. Like Serbia, if you didn't watch the game, Serbia had 9 offensive rebounds. Would you care to guess KD and Embiid, both 7 feet, how many rebounds they combined for?
Like 6?
Not a lot.
6 total. Both offense and defense.
Yeah,
Steph Curry had more by himself. Yeah. Like the only guy that does anything other than score on that team is LeBron.
There was a couple of moments down the stretch where in the final quarter where there was a loose ball and you would just see people go up for it and you knew the US wasn't going to get it, which is why like that end when Embiid fumbled away that rebound, I was like, are you effing kidding me? And they swung it, and I think I forget who it was, but the Serbian guy missed the 3. But they got a wide open look because Embiid just dropped a rebound.
They were wide open all day.
I know. Well,
they missed a lot of wide open shots.
They shot 50%. Well, it was better than, I think they were 10 of 19 in the first half.
Well,
from
and
the three-point line.
They have the Joker too. I mean, he's what a beast, and he's backing down or trying to back down LeBron at the end of the game. It's like when you have a guy like that, he's going to keep you in the game.
But if you hate LeBron, then you hate freedom because we don't win gold without it.
LeBron James, and I think he's a douche, but he may even be underrated. And I'm not even kidding.
He's incredible.
He's almost 40, dude.
Yeah.
And he now, all of a sudden, he looks gray. I don't know where that came from. I haven't seen him in a while. Shockingly, his beard is gray. He looks like Uncle Drew out there. And all he does is dominate. And Steph had a huge day. Steph made 9 threes. He scored 36 points. But the engine, and it's not even close, is LeBron. And it's something to watch. I just think that I think the U.S., and not to get all, I mean, I think they're going to win the gold, but you better be freaking ready for France, dude.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you got
the rest of the world is catching up, and I think Team USA is playing with a little fire because, as Buck mentioned, there is a changing of the guard here. This is probably guaranteed LeBron's last Olympics. Yeah. Well, they might put him on the team.
I'm not guaranteeing anything. That son of a bitch
13th man.
Look, allegedly. How many chemicals are flowing through that dude's body?
He'll be able to give you 12 minutes till he's 50.
I ain't putting anything past that guy at this point because
they might need him at 43.
It's possible. It's like in the new Wolverine Deadpool movie. Ryan Reynolds jokes, "You're gonna be doing this till you're 90. They're never letting you go." That may be LeBron. LeBron's our Wolverine. He'll be like 52. We're like, sorry, buddy, we need you to roll your old ass out there. We need to give you 10 minutes a night in the clutch.
I just feel like we need to be careful because the rest of the world is catching up to us, and we keep just doing this little charade of like, who wants to play who's really good and wants to play? I do. Don't hurt his feelings. He's too good. Put him on the team. We need to start building out a real basketball team.
Well, I mean,
because that's what the other countries are doing.
They kind of did. I mean, when you look at the addition of Holiday, when you look at White, when the fact that Tatum again was stapled his ass to the bench, Kerr. He did that a little bit. Kerr talked about it. He goes, hey, man, I'm running my rotations. And you can agree or disagree, but
I'm not going to worry about what's on social media.
This wasn't a participation sort of trophy event here for U.S. basketball. Kerr has tried to run this more like an actual team. And
yeah, but I'm more talking about the selection of the team. We need to be careful.
Yeah.
Because the thing about the USA in basketball is we don't really go crazy when they win.
No.
That was cool today. We just expect them to win. Yeah. And that is changing. Yeah. Like they have the best. I mean, the best players in the world are all international players.
Yeah.
Is it weird that we're hyped up though because they almost blew it? If they had rolled by 20, would we even care?
Yeah, well, 100%. That was what happened today was way more fun than them winning 120 to 89.
Definitely.
But at the same time, we're going to be pissed off. I'm telling you.
They lose.
Yeah, they lose. The pitchforks are coming out because we're like, how on earth could you possibly lose? Well, the rest of the world's really good. If you think about the best players in the world, it's Giannis, Luka, and Jokic.
Well, you look at all the MVPs like over the last handful of years. Yeah,
and then Wemby is soon to be. And so it's they need to be careful. I think they need to be careful.
Well, and
in how they build that.
And the other one, too, is that if we do lose, we have got to stop that. It's like the worst thing that ever happened. This is if this was a 7-game sort of thing, we would never lose. But how many times we see this in the NCAA tournament or anything that's one and done? NFL, this happens all the time. Dude, anyone can get beat in a 1-game series. So, dude, if the U.S. does stub their toe, whether it's against France or at the next Olympics or down the road, God, we have got to stop acting like we're just this Thanos-like juggernaut that can't be defeated. Yeah, we can in a 1-game sort of situation. So I love that we had this. And I hope no one does the U.S., we barely won. Yeah, we did barely win. We had a great game against a really damn good team. And that's all these guys now. Like you said, the world is caught up.
Here's a Vancouver Ford text line text. Is that what I meant there?
Yeah, I think so.
Vancouver Ford.
We knew where you were going with that.
LeBron will play in 2028. How else will Bronny make the team? That's from Deal.
I enjoyed that.
He's right.
And someone asking, if the European nations combined their basketball players, would they beat the Americans?
Yes.
If you had the world against the U.S.,
yes,
it'd be pretty tough.
Do you watch these guys?
Yeah.
I think there is a thing about Team USA players, and we got to get that out of there. I don't know who brings it to the table, but Team USA players do not respect anybody that does not play in the NBA.
Yeah.
And you can clearly tell that.
Yeah.
Because they get out-hustled, they get outworked. And, when it's Jokic, they, of course, respect. Or Luka or Wemby. But maybe not Wemby yet, but soon. Giannis, whatever. But, yes, if there were a team of worlds,
well, you'd have...
the U.S. would have to be built a lot better and play a lot harder.
Well, it'd be different because you'd have Jokic in the middle. You'd have Giannis. Well, actually, could you play with Jokic and Embiid on the? I guess Embiid's playing for the U.S. even though he's international. So take him out of it. I don't know why I was thinking this because he probably should have been playing for someone else. You'd have Jokic. You'd have Giannis. You'd have Luka. You'd have what? Marketing would probably be on there. Who else? Siakam. He's Canadian.
What's Manu Ginobili doing?
Well,
he's old in Argentina somewhere.
I'm just kidding. Porzingis, yeah. I mean, and again, that you'd have to be careful. Much like I was just warning about Team USA just putting star after star after star on the team. Yeah. The world would have to be careful of that too. Yeah. Because those guys, there's only one ball.
Yeah. I'm not ready to believe that we would automatically look. I think that'd be a hell of a game, but I ain't ready to say that we'd roll over and get our ass kicked. I mean,
well, I don't think anybody's saying they'd get their ass kicked. We have some of the best players in the world, but we don't have the top guys. The very top guys none of them are American anymore. Yeah. And the way this team's built, they can be kind of hard to watch sometimes. You can just see it coming. They're gonna. I don't know if they're gonna lose to France. Maybe they get out of here with another gold. Next 4 years, 8 years.
Yeah, when LeBron, KD, and Steph go.
Yeah.
But hey, look.
But for now,
I had some pretty look. Eventually, it can be in some really good hands with the likes of as they grew up, and Edwards, and like if Ja Morant gets going and Tatum. Let's not act like we have like no one.
Well, I don't think anyone's saying that.
The bigs might be an issue,
but Luka, Laurie, Markkanen, Giannis, Jokic, and Wemby.
That's pretty good. Yeah, it's pretty good. Again, only one ball. Everyone would hate Luka.
Well, they might implode because Luka's such a bitch.
Giannis can't shoot, so right there, screw him.
Then they get a taste of the Team USA medicine. That that's what we do.
Yeah,
we infight and
bitch and moan,
and we lose because it's our own fault. I mean, I love him, but what a bitch!
It's a good team though. It's not a bad team. Throw Wemby in there. That guy. All right, because he's the next guy.
Vote on our poll question on X at 1080 the fan. Okay, we have more Olympic oxtail, and I have a sports adjacent seggy.
I like adjacents.
Teed up. So we'll get to those items coming up here. But first, Buck with Sports Center. We've got some stuff coming out on Colorado.
The mighty Buffaloes are
What's up, folks? You believe that?
Colorado Buffaloes. Remember when they were the darlings of college football?
Oh no.
Now everyone hates them.
Do you believe?
I wonder, would they have been all that if they didn't open with that TCU win?
No, that thing was that was like the worst thing that ever happened.
It set off just such a ridiculous hype train because TCU'd been in the championship game and Dion was new.
And they got a coach that can't shut his mouth, and they've really become. I enjoyed Dion. I thought last year it was a lot of fun, and then it kind of got out of control, and now they've just become an easily hateable team.
Well, his kids are really unlikable.
Yes,
like Shiloh and
and he does them no favors.
Who's the other one?
Shador.
Shador.
He does them zero favors.
They're so cocky.
And they went from a fun little story to just a loudmouth group that isn't very good. I mean, if you're going to be like that, you better be like those old Miami Hurricane teams that would talk crap and then kick your ass.
How the hell did TCU lose to them?
TCU wasn't
They
really
lost
good.
everybody.
They lost everybody.
It was a little bit like UW. Like after they played in that championship, they had so many seniors graduate or players leave. It was
and what everyone failed to realize is TCU went up and down the field on them. Like Colorado just outscored them, but like you realize that other teams were going to play defense. Colorado apparently didn't figure that out at the start of the year.
And it wasn't just the TCU game. They bludgeoned Nebraska.
Well, and then they eked one out against Colorado State.
So they were 3-0 going into Oregon.
Yeah, and we all said that was one of those. I said, whatever the point spread is, you just load up because Oregon is going to stomp a mud puddle in them until it turns dry.
That's where we got this.
You tell me you're out.
He was not happy about that.
No, he wasn't, and he shouldn't have been because there were people that really thought Colorado was on par. And dude, that's just one of those, like, if you had knew anything at all or watched anything in college football, you knew what was coming that day. And yet we love hype trains. We love like it's the darling. I remember people saying like, is Colorado a national title contender? And it was insanity. But we get these narratives and ESPN and these the big companies start pushing them, and before you know it, there are people. This is how like Justin Fields ends up being the number one bet taken to win an MVP last year, and it's how like Bronny James ends up getting a bunch of bets to be NBA Rookie of the Year. It's Lanning can say that the clicks thing, and I know Oregon gets a lot of clicks, but at least they back it up. At least it's a good team. It's another when you have a fraud that people are paying attention to.
Well, I was looking at they actually did better at the start of the year than I remember. Because I just think of them as like, first couple games they were good and then they sucked.
Yeah.
Well, they lost to Oregon. They got bludgeoned there.
Yeah.
The next week, they only lost 48-41 to USC and then beat Arizona State. So they were still 4-2.
Yeah.
And but at that point, then they lost to Stanford and then they never won again.
No.
It was kind of weird.
Yeah, they were bad.
But
they never play. They couldn't run the ball. They didn't play defense. And by the way,
I'm just saying, like, if they beat USC at home, I remember that game. I think they kind of stormed back late to make it close.
I think that was what happened.
They were 5-1.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
but they weren't.
How'd that go? Exactly. Like you're beating bad teams that can't play defense, and anyone saying that this year is going to be any different. All it is just a new cast. They turned over their whole roster again with just more, the portal kids. I don't expect it to be much different this year. Prove me wrong.
41 players out, 44 players in.
You can't do this year in and year out. It doesn't work that way. Believe it or not, we all love NIL and we love the transfer portal when we talk about the Dylan Gabriels of the world. And sure, it's fine if you want to go out and get a key position or fill a hole here or there. But when you're relying on the transfer portal to change your roster every year, good luck. It's like can we say that the NFL and college football now, like the model, it's similar. We have free agency. In fact, I think it might actually be, more confusing in the world of college football because there's no contracts. In the NFL, free agency is at least you have, salary caps and people are tied, but you essentially have free agency now in the world of college football. And what do we say every year in the NFL? When a team wins free agency, usually what does that mean? They're not very good. Because there's a reason why they have to go out and try to fill all these different holes with free agents. And very rarely do they really, the good players, the great players, they don't hit free agency. They just don't. They stay on that squad. And college football, it's a little bit differently, but it's essentially the NFL. And dude, if you aren't recruiting and you aren't building from within the core of your team, I am not convinced that you are going to ever win at any sort of significant level in the world of college football.
So coming up, what one former player alleges the Colorado program is, and he alleges that it's violently wild. So we'll get to that.
Oh, boy.
But up next, Noah Lyles. Look, is he the new Paul Pierce? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Is he the new Isaac Robb?
What do you mean? I loved COVID. I'm not a gold medalist.
Well, both love COVID.
What about bronze medalist?
Also not a bronze medalist.
But you do both love COVID.
Yeah, he got the COVID.
Yeah.
Got the vid.
Do we give him did he, or is he making excuses for finishing third?
Well, I guess
we can discuss when we get
We'll talk it out. 344 on the Fan.
The Ducks are on
cocky American sprinter that everyone seems to hate.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's just unfortunately that's where we're at. Like,
I don't mind him, but
yeah, it's just he's a USA bro. He just he ruffles some feathers. But I mean, that's kind of one of those things nowadays that I don't blame people for that because it's like the Conor McGregor thing. Look, how do I say this? Winning Olympic gold is awesome. Like that's your lifelong goal, but it's also your job. And you have a very limited time to make a name and make money for yourself. And sometimes playing Floyd Mayweather did this. Floyd Mayweather, the whole Money Mayweather thing, that came around because he couldn't really sell fights. So he adopted a persona and became the most successful financial boxer of all time. So some of this, I wonder how much of this is him. Is this he's a brash, confident guy, and how much of this is playing into the kind of, hey, I need people to pay attention.
Trying to produce an image.
I had not heard about him until he went on his rant about the NBA, saying that what are they the world champions of? That's the very first time I was even aware of him. So, say what you will. Yeah, it may ruffle some feathers, but it gets eyeballs on you.
Is this his first Olympics?
No, I guess he was in the last one and he flamed out. Like he had mental health issues and anxiety and
like Simone.
Yeah, that whole thing where it just kind of, well, I mean, hers, she had like the twisty. She had like a vertigo thing. I think he had like a full on.
Well, it wasn't vertigo. She has a reality show on right now.
Yeah.
I dug into it a little bit last night. I really like Simone Biles.
Well, who doesn't? She's America's sweetheart.
And yeah, she was talking about, she had a lot of mental health problems. She had the twisties.
Yeah.
But it's kind of hard to explain like what that is.
I guess it's one of those things like when you're spinning, you don't have the ability to like your equilibrium is off, and so you can't tell where you're at in midair. And when you're doing 17 flips, you can fall and break your neck. So it like
right. But I was just, I mean, she was talking about how, and they are talking in that show about how hard it was for her to get over that.
Yeah.
And a lot of it was just mental hurdle.
Yeah.
For her. So she had the same thing in, what was that, Tokyo?
Tokyo.
Yeah.
And Noah Elias, like, he didn't win anything, and like I read a story, like there was a picture of him, he's like was balling after one of the races. He had like a full on just kind of it did not go his way. So this was like a nice redemption story. So I thought it was great. I just, like I said, he's not for everybody.
So he ran the 200 today and got bronze.
Yeah.
Because he had the COVID.
Mm-hmm.
He did not win. As a
No.
matter of fact, I forget the country where the guy won from, but it was like, wait, what? Some guy from what? Huh? And then some other American guy got second. But they said Lyles, he knew he was sick.
Yeah.
And he had tested positive for the COVIDs.
Some guy from Botswana.
Yeah. How about that?
Which again, I don't know nothing about him, but that's gotta be a cool story. I'm guessing there's not a lot of gold medals going to Botswana.
They're probably going crazy over there right now.
Hell yeah. I do know that. I do.
So anyway, he got the bronze, but then they had to wheel him out of there in a wheelchair because he has the COVID.
And that's what I was like.
I mean, you just ran the 200 meters at the Olympics. Do you really need a wheelchair? Or is it so taxing to run the 200 meter in the Olympics with COVID that you do need a wheelchair?
By the way, Botswana, that was only their third medal ever and the first gold in their nation's history.
Botswana. Good
That's
for
amazing.
Them. I love stuff like that. Because in places like that, they need update. Like it's inspiration for like entire countries. That's awesome. But I want to give them the benefit of the doubt because I don't know what it's like to run. I don't know the last time I ran 200 meters. I certainly have never run 200 meters at some sort of great taxing speed. I also don't know how bad his COVID is. As I was watching, I was like, really? Wheelchair?
It was a little much.
It was a little much. Paul Pierce had the wheelchair because he pooped himself. That I remember at the time being though like, really, Paul? And then I found out that he had a smear on his shorts. So I was like, well, there's no other choice. It's the only way to get out of there without admitting that you pooed yourself. This one here,
Look, the COVID's pretty rough, and I would imagine he was gassed. But I mean, dude, if you just ran the 200 meters at an Olympic
You can
level,
walk back to the locker room.
You can walk back to the right
or to the podium.
I think so.
I mean, come on.
I've seen dudes get up in the NFL with blown out ACLs, and they force themselves to walk out the field because they don't want to be meat wagoned off. Look, if you're getting the wheelchair, one of two things has to have happened. One, soil yourself. I think we can all admit that's a totally legit move. Is everyone with me on this?
What if you get a wheelchair because you
poop?
If you have the oopsie poopsie calling for the wheelchair,
you don't want to show the streaks.
There's no shame in that, right? None.
I mean, there's still some shame in pooping your pants.
There's no shame.
I do think there's
trying
shame
to
in it.
hide.
A little shame there.
Yeah, there's
poo.
shame.
And trying to hide your poo? You think?
Not trying to hide it, but just the fact that you have to because you did it.
You think you should just stand up loud and proud and be like, "Here's my streak"?
No, but
you
should
asked
still feel shame because you pooped your pants.
You said there's no shame.
No.
There absolutely
I
is shame
said-
in that whole scenario.
You're
There's
not
shame.
listening. You're not listening. You
I've got the
sons of
poo in
bitches.
my hands.
I said there's only 2 times it's acceptable to get meat wagoned off the field. One is if you poo yourself. If you poo yourself, there's no shame in getting carted off because you're trying to hold in some sort of dignity.
I think there's a little shame.
The other one is something better be sticking out. There better be one of those injuries.
Joe Thiesman?
Yes,
Kevin Ware.
It better be an injury where on the broadcast they say one of 2 things: either we're not going to show this or look away. Because if it's not one of those 2 things, you get your ass up and you get a flag around you and you Michael Jordan it.
Yeah, flags.
Get a flag around you and have someone do the arm and help you off. You don't get meat wagoned off because you got the COVID.
Wouldn't it suck though just to get COVID right before the biggest moment of your life?
Yeah, it sucks.
At least he didn't get it before the 100.
The 100, yeah.
Maybe he got it during the 100.
Although maybe he did. I don't
yeah,
know.
who knows?
You think he had like
He obviously was feeling better that day.
Yeah. But maybe it was the start of it, or maybe, I don't know, maybe he went out and did a bunch of stuff
Yeah.
after he won the 100-meter and that got him the COVID.
Right.
Did he go to Vegas like you?
How about the guy who finished 4th? Lost to a guy who had COVID.
I'm not gonna lie. If that was like my really good buddy, I'd make fun of him.
Wait, who? The 4th guy?
The 4th guy?
Yeah, like why can't you beat that guy?
If that was like my dear friend and he knew it was coming from a place of love, I would make fun of him for the rest of his life. Hey, remember when you lost your only chance at a medal because you couldn't beat the guy that had to get carted off because of COVID? I'm sorry, that you don't let that one go. And you accept it because it comes from a place of love, and that's just the way it works.
Well, Lyles is now saying he is done for the Olympics. Yeah. I don't know what else he was going to do.
Probably just the relays because his only, he doesn't run the 400, and plus that already got run. And the runners are specialists. So he was a 100, 200 guy, but I'm sure there were some relays in his future.
Yeah. Does that mean do we have alternate guys that are just sitting there waiting?
Yeah, the 16.
I'm sure we do.
The 16-year-old kid is going to make his debut.
Yeah? Oh, I read about him.
Oh, that's rad. I didn't know that he got that spot. Yeah. That's great.
Yeah, so he's coming over. So yeah,
What's
we have
his name? He's not already over there?
No, he's over there now.
Yeah.
He just we bring people over and then we can use them or not use them. And like the same thing like in the
Quincy Wilson.
Yeah.
He's going to be there?
Yeah, he's going to run.
Oh, cool.
I think he's making his debut. I thought I saw he's making his debut. He maybe made it yesterday or maybe it's today.
4x4.
He will be the youngest ever to make his USA Olympic track and field
That cat's
debut.
16 years old.
Wow.
He's happened in gymnastics and stuff, but never in track.
Yeah.
Watch him get COVID.
Well, I mean, if you're the rest of I don't know.
Watch him win the damn thing.
Assuming the rest of the people are probably a little jammed up. They're all sharing quarters and
that's pretty badass. Quincy Wilson's on the team now.
Mm-hmm.
Should have been on there in the first place. Who needs Noah Lyles?
Well, I think we do.
Not me.
He won gold.
Not this guy.
Yeah, 16. You imagine? Think about what you were doing at 16 years old, and this kid's gonna go over and try to win a gold medal.
Crazy.
I was thinking about like tennis players, like the gymnasts. And by the way, by the time you're 16 in gymnastics, you're like an old bag. People are like, you're over the hill. It's crazy.
That's another thing that's cool about what Simone Biles did.
She's 27.
She's 27 years old.
Yeah,
ancient by gymnastics
terms. Which, by the way, just completely throws me for a loop.
Yeah.
You should like anything where you can be your best because like the Chinese get in trouble because they always try to have like 12-year-olds and like 10. They're like, no, you have to be of a certain age. The Chinese are like, why? They're like rolling out a 9-year-old. They're like, oh, she's 16 as far as we can tell. But that just blows my mind that the best people in the world at something are like 15 years old. I can't compute it.
I'd also like to nominate, and maybe we can talk about this later, but I'd like to nominate Simone Biles and Jonathan Owens as really a top American sports couple.
Power
America, yeah.
They're fantastic.
Yeah.
And I think he's great.
Watching him on Hard Knocks Watch Her is pretty
That
cool.
was really cool.
Yeah.
I mean, because a lot of guys are like, oh, yeah, I don't know. She does like floor exercise. Like he knows the whole routine. And he was, I don't know. He just seems like a really good dude.
Yeah.
and she seems great, and she's been through a lot, and she's awesome, and she's a badass.
It was,
and they're together.
it
They're
was-
hey, they're better than Kelsey and
I'm with
Tay-Tay.
you. I'm with you.
Give me Simone and Jonathan.
I take
Taylor Swift.
I'm with you. I thought it was so weird for the best female athlete in the world, maybe of all time, like the weird like FaceTime call, and then they were doing like kissy faces. It was like I was like, oh yeah, she's just.
Well, she's pretty down to earth.
I know, but it's the idea of when someone is so famous, watching them do very normal things.
Stars, they're just like us.
It was very weird for me when he picked up the phone in the middle of like her Olympics. Like she's out there creating history, and then he calls her up. She's like, "Now, do you have your passport and do you have your luggage?" And she's still doing the, she's still doing the whole
Checking in on her boo-boo.
right. And then she's like, "Love you." It was just, I was like, that's the greatest in the world.
Yeah.
And she's doing, it was adorable.
They show
it was
her
adorable.
So she's got a reality show on Netflix right now. I think it's Netflix.
I don't
yes.
know. I didn't know.
Yeah,
she
it
had
just
one.
dropped. Yeah,
Is it a show or a documentary?
it's a show. It's got different episodes, and
Is it like it's like a Receiver though, right? Is it? It's like docu-series or is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like it's just behind the scenes in her life, and it starts with the Tokyo disappointments. I don't know how far it'll get up to, these games, but it shows her driving, and she is shockingly short.
Yeah.
Like tiny.
Yeah.
And
They
she
all are.
drives a big old Mercedes. What's the big Mercedes
G-Wagon?
box? Yeah,
it's a G-Wagon.
She drives one of those,
Like the little
and
hands.
she's like right up on the wheel, and then she cooks chicken and stuff. It's like. You're right. It's like just watching her do anything. It's like, this is really cool. Simone Biles is cooking chicken.
Yeah.
It's also crazy because of how small she is. You see the picture of her with Kevin Durant at
Tiny.
these Olympics? It's
She
just
is
like, it's unbelievable.
Tiny. And
She's 4'7".
Jonathan Owens said that in the doc. They were like, she was making fun of how he reacted the first time he met her.
Yeah.
And he couldn't get over how short she was. And she was laughing, but he was like, yeah, I've never seen someone that short.
Well-
It's like jockeys. Like you never see jockeys in real life.
No.
She's that size.
Yeah, because he is not a huge guy. He's listed at 5'11". He's a DB for the Bears. And even when she stands next to him, again, she looks like a little person, and he's not exactly a
she
giant.
is
She is. Yeah.
tiny.
4'7".
Ball of fury, though.
Oh yeah. I'm not gonna say what I want to say, but
All right. Coming up next. Oh, we've got a sports adjacent. Damn it.
difficulties.
Let's hate, man.
We've got a sports adjacent
I do know that.
segment.
Adjacency coming up next.
The wildest thing today, and we've talked about some wild moments in sports today.
Absolutely.
The wildest thing happened at a CrossFit
Yeah.
race.
And we were kind of alluding to this the other day.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
That's next on The Fan. All right, welcome back. 409.
Bye.
Roppin' Soup. Doing our thing here.
We are doing our thing. Not thing, but thing.
Now, I've got a couple stories here that are sports adjacent. They're sports, but kind of not.
They're not sports that you care about.
Well,
I play real
CrossFit,
sports, trying not to be the best at exercising.
Is CrossFit a sport?
Yeah, it's a sport.
Is it?
It's probably the fittest people on the planet competing. It's
Okay,
not a
but
sport that I care about.
That's
but
different. Is it a sport
Yeah.
or is it an activity?
Well, it's a competition. There's gold. How is that any different than the Olympics?
Well, it's not. It's just, well, why isn't it in the Olympics? That's a decent question.
It will be at some point.
I mean, it belongs there as much as breakdancing does.
No offense, but if breakdancing and synchronized swimming are Olympic sports, the fittest athletes on the planet all competing in some of the most physically challenged activities, even though, please don't, I'm having to defend CrossFit and that pains me.
Why?
Because
You don't like it?
well, if a vegan, a CrossFitter, and let's say an atheist walk into a bar, just burn the bar to the ground. It's
Why?
like, because no one
Well,
will
that was rude.
no one will shut the hell up about it. It's one of those things where if you meet a CrossFitter, it becomes their entire personality, which usually means you don't have a personality. You're just having it do the heavy lifting for you. It's mind-numbing.
Oh, they're like super weed guy.
Yes.
Just everything in their life is about
Yes.
CrossFit and
Yes.
Huh.
Hey,
Okay.
if you'll just do a muscle up and do this deadlift, your life will, all your problems will go away. Just please shut up. Just go do your burpees and be quiet. But it is one of the most physically challenging things on the planet. It should be in the Olympics.
Yeah, but I mean, there's just a difference between a sport and a game.
Yeah.
Or an activity. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just trying to define it.
No, it's
a sport. You're calling it a sport.
Yeah.
Okay, well, at its they had a big one in big CrossFit competition down in Texas.
Yeah, they have like the CrossFit games and they have big competitions.
And apparently they swim.
Yeah.
And today, this is really one of the more wild things that's happened all day in sport.
It's incredible.
If you call it a sport.
I do call it a sport. And someone, by the way, should be in prison. This dude's family should be worth millions. This is egregious.
So this there was a Serbian CrossFit guy by the name of Lazar Dukic.
Yeah.
And he is not far from the finish line.
No.
Or just getting out of the water.
Of that part of it. It's like they move on to other things. This was the part of the...
And this is on video. It is very difficult to watch.
Yeah.
But he is about fourth or fifth back. And all the other CrossFitters are swimming and, the breaststroke, and you can clearly see them swimming. He is struggling.
Yeah.
He is bobbing up and down. You do see in one frame he does try to swim. He throws a breaststroke with his left arm, but he's trying, but he is struggling. And the thing about it is if they zoom out, and when they zoom out, you see that there are these lifeguard dudes that are standing on paddleboards. One of them can't be 20 feet from him.
No. It is so close.
And the other one's maybe 30 feet from him.
Well, and from the dock, from the finish line, it is maybe 50 feet.
Well, and there's a bunch of people on the dock that are seeing him struggle, going, hey, look at this dude. He drowned.
Yeah, never came back
He went
up.
under and he never came back up.
Nope. And we've talked about this, but, and I didn't know this, because we always have people drown here when it gets warm, right? We talk about it all the time, but usually it's booze or the current gets you. But I remember reading about this once a number of years ago, and they said that most of the time drownings occur within several arms distance of other people.
Yeah.
And like you think that drowning is like this big commotion activity, and they say it is not. They say it can happen literally in public pools within arm's reach of someone, and people don't realize. But when you are at a competition that's part of the CrossFit Games, it's the opening competition of the CrossFit Games, that sport's biggest event, it'd be like an Olympic qualifier. And you are within 20 feet of a lifeguard, 25 feet of another one, you're within 50 feet of the dock. Other competitors are around you. This guy was not out on his own. There's other competitors within 10 meters of him. To have someone drown and die, there needs to be a lawsuit of guard. That is just inexcusable, the lack of safety and someone not taking their job seriously. And we were joking the other day when we were watching the Olympics. We're like, is there a worse job than Olympic lifeguard? Like, it's the best swimmers in the world. And I don't know what kind of swimmer this guy is, but you are dealing with elite athletes. And I wonder how many times the lifeguards are just like, whatever. It's the first event. No one's tired. It's the fittest athletes on the planet. And their head is up their ass. And someone died on your watch right in front of you.
It's unbelievable. I just rewatched it. And because I hadn't noticed the paddleboarder lifeguard person. How close they were is unbelievable. I don't know what else you could have been looking at.
Well, there were also boats out there. I mean, like I don't
know how this happened.
I don't really get why they have paddleboarder lifeguards. Just have boats. Like, isn't that easier?
Well, maybe
you can get there faster.
The wake, and I don't know.
Jet skis, maybe.
Or jet? Yeah, exactly.
I don't know.
It's a really sad deal.
But I'm not trying to draw like. I hate to even do it because anytime you bring something up, people are like, But when the when the president or the ex-president was shot, right? People are like, how can this happen? The level of incompetence. And this is the sad part of it. Every time something happens and we say, there's no way there could be this much incompetence. And yet, time and time again, there is indeed this much incompetence. Every time something tragic happens, it feels like it's always the most preventable tragedy. And yet it happens all the time. And it's just, I don't know. It's just the ability for humans to F up seemingly a very, very simple task will never cease to amaze me.
Well,
you're a lifeguard.
Like you said, the drowning thing though can be tricky because I don't really know what makes someone go under. I get. Do you think
he could have cramped?
A cramp or something? Or like when I almost drowned and died in Italy, it was clear to me that if I swallowed water, and I was lucky not to,
you would have gone.
I think at that point you panic and like I don't.
Well, panic is another one.
Well,
it
happens
a lot.
Look, here's the point. The point is that I got in kind of a sticky situation out there.
Yeah.
And I drifted far from the boat, and the water was pretty choppy, and I was tired. Yeah. And if I had swallowed water at that point, I might. Yeah. I mean, that might have been it because the thing that I learned was, wow, how quickly that can happen. Yeah. That was really kind of my takeaway from it, even though I made it back, was like, oh, dude, I think that was closer than I even want to give credit for, Yeah. And so I don't know really what makes you go under, but maybe he swallowed water and panicked or cramp or whatever that is. It happens fast.
Yep. Well, but the problem
that's why it's hard to sue. Like I feel like.
Well, but this is the problem I have is that when you go to a triathlon, you go to a CrossFit Games, whatever, and you pay your entrance fee or whatever, there is some sort of expectation, obviously, of medical care. And especially if you're in the water, you have 2 lifeguards within 20 feet. I get it. If you're out on a lake and people miss something, fine. But when we pay you and your organization is in charge of the safety of athletes, and your only job is to make sure someone doesn't drown, and there's 2 of you that are 5 seconds away from a guy and you let him die, I'm sorry, someone has to be accountable. That's not a tragic accident. And I'm usually hey, sometimes stuff happens and accidents happen. This isn't an accident. This is incompetence.
But it's going to be one of those things like anytime you join a gym, you sign a piece of paper that absolves them of any liability. And I mean, obviously there were people whose job it was to try and stop that from happening. But I guarantee all those competitors signed something saying that the event isn't responsible if something happens to them.
And by the way, there's now other athletes saying that they were pointing to him as they swam by him and said he was doing like the Bob circle thing. They were pointing at people saying, hey, this guy's in trouble. Like multiple people, this guy's in trouble.
Do you hold any of the other athletes?
That's what I'm wondering. If you noticed, should you have stopped to help?
I don't know.
I mean, that's kind of weird.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm going to swim by you, but hey, make sure this guy doesn't drown.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
If I'm his family, I mean, I understand that ultimately he's the one that decided to go out and maybe he's not a good swimmer. Maybe he just thought he could power through this. Again, maybe he panicked, maybe he cramped. Who knows?
Maybe he's got COVID.
It's possible. If I was his family, it would be beyond frustrating knowing how many things had to go wrong, how many people had to fail or just not have decency or not pay attention. I mean, seriously, in that video, there's 15 people? Is this what didn't happen in a matter of seconds? This went on, like when you watch the video from the first time you notice him struggling to when he goes under, it's like a minute. How many people if one of them did one thing, that my son or my husband or my brother or whoever is still alive, I would really, really struggle with that.
All right, I've got chess news.
Oh, I like that. Hopefully no one died playing chess, did they?
Well, almost.
Damn it.
Almost.
Bobby Fischer took one in the eye?
Yeah, this is more near-death sports news.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Coming up next. 419 on the Fan.
The
Because I read chess.com daily.
It's just one of those things like part of the show prep.
Yep.
By the way, who would have thought that there was actually a chess.com? You know, because that, like, no one actually gets the good domain name. Someone out there, I would assume, had chess.com for some sort of weird internet porno thing. The fact that there is that, you got that title.
Well, maybe they had to buy it from Weird Porno Guy.
Right?
Or the other thing too is chess people. I feel like there are a lot of computer nerds in that society. So maybe they were just one of the first early adopters of URLs. They're like, oh, we play chess and we're computer nerds, so we'll get chess.com.
Yeah. I just think it's like when you see someone with like a cool email address without 7 numbers behind it, you're like, oh, how early were you on that?
Who gets credit for inventing internet?
Al Gore.
Yeah?
No, that's just a dumb joke. You've never heard that? Al Gore invents the internet?
He said he did, right?
He did?
Did he?
I think that was the thing, is he's kind of tried to take credit for it.
As far as I know, I don't think anyone takes credit for the internet. I mean,
that's interesting. Well, whoever it is probably played chess, and one of the first domain names that they locked down was chess.com.
Well, the internet's development included multiple contributors, computers, scientists. Basically, it's impossible to pick one. They did say that there were a couple bros. Vinton Cerf and Robert Kahn are primarily credited with inventing the core protocols that underpin the modern internet.
Yeah, it's like 1974.
What are their names?
Vinton Cerf.
With the cool surf name. With a C.
Surf with a C or Kerf, maybe? And then Robert Kahn. So apparently those bros get credit with laying down. Yeah, they came up with the Transmission Control Protocol and Internet Protocol, TCP/IP.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and most people have heard of that. And that is the standard for how information is shared between different networks. I wonder if they got rich off that.
Yeah, I wonder if, we don't hear their names.
No.
Why are they not famous?
Well, you think about, because it might be one of those where they just came up with the generic version of it, and then there wasn't any money to be made, and then a bunch of people actually, used it, and away you go.
It's like the guy who paid like 100,000 Bitcoin for a pizza.
Yeah.
I think it was 10,000 for 2 pizzas.
Was it?
Yeah, I think so.
And
what a deal.
At least the Surf or Kerf guy, he's still alive. It's 81.
A chess player has been suspended by the Russian Chess Federation and is reportedly facing time in jail after she allegedly what?
I'm going to say, first off, if you get arrested for cheating in Russia, you've done something spectacular, because that's their whole MO. My guess is she's gay. Because
what?
The only thing that puts you in prison in Russia is being gay or hating Putin. Other than that, you get to do whatever you want to do. And if you're gay and don't like Putin, brother, you're going down an elevator shaft.
Her name is Amina. She is 40. Her opponent was oh boy. I don't know. Her opponent is 30. And I don't know her name. I can't pronounce her name.
I don't know.
Whatever. It's not important. What she did was she tried to poison her rival at the chessboard.
Ooh, I like it.
During the tournament.
That seems like a bold. Step. I'm guessing there's chess cameras and whatnot.
There are cameras.
How do you poison someone?
She came up to she went up to security and asked if there were cameras. Mm-hmm. And this is before, because they have a bunch of chess sets in the room, different tables, and at the table she was supposed to play at. Yeah. This is before anyone's in the room. She asked security, "Hey, are there cameras?" And the guy said there weren't.
Oh, see, let me just say this: if someone ever asks you if there are cameras, just know that they're about to do some nefarious 100%. And if that guy's smart, be like, "Oh no, there's no cameras."
So then. They find out later. Now you see this on camera now, because they went back and saw her do this. Yeah. But it was reported that she then smeared what is said to be potentially deadly mercury from a thermometer.
Oh yeah, I see right here
on the board.
Am I wrong in also saying that from the backside, this chess player, kind of?
You just have a thing for people that want to poison other people.
Here's what she looks like.
She's kind of cute. She's dedicated to her craft. Sure, the poisoning's a little rough, but
I will say she doesn't look crazy.
No,
she looks like a mom.
She's just competitive. Mom with some tight jeans.
The opponent, so she does all this thinking that it's not on camera. 30 minutes into the match that they're playing, whatever they call it. What do they call a chess?
I think it's a chess match.
Is it a match?
Yeah, I think so.
The opponent, whose name I can't pronounce, she starts feeling nauseous and dizzy.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking here. She's trying. I love she's got that look about her too, where she's not certain that there's no cameras. This is like when Buckley stole the energy drink. There's a lot of weird looking around. Like, am I? Nah, I'm fine. There's no one here, dude. That's crazy to watch that on film.
Yeah, so she's complaining, and then she eventually calls for a medical assist. Doctors come over there, and they say you've been poisoned. And so then they go to the security cameras, and of course they see
the catcher.
Yeah, obviously it was right there on.
Yeah, it's
because there were cameras. She did not think there were. She was told there weren't, but there were.
It's pretty easy to catch her.
Yeah, exactly. It's like caught red-handed.
Yeah. Interesting.
So anyway, the other lady lived.
Yeah, she's fine. Like, can you die from just just a little mercury on there?
Well, I don't know. She said, so they interviewed the lady, the
Was she trying to kill her or
The
just
perp.
make her like?
She wanted her out of the tournament.
Yeah.
Okay, she
And I
make her
think it's-
medically retire.
Yeah.
By
She
the way,
wanted her to tap out.
mission accomplished. I mean, a little mercury poisoning. Smart of her, go get some thermometers. By the way, I don't think those still use mercury, though. I don't even know where you get mercury anymore.
Well, in Russia, they probably do.
Yeah, that's true.
True.
Yeah. I think mercury is part of a balanced diet over in Russia. They don't care.
She is only temporarily suspended from Russian chess events,
Told you.
and she faces 3 years in jail.
Russia. I love
She
this.
is in custody.
She's only temporarily suspended.
Yeah.
I love it.
Got to leave,
Yeah, yeah. This is what I'm saying,
leave
man.
some doors open.
Depending on how good of a chess player she is, I think Putin pardons her. Yeah, he's going to be like, "Hey, think about it. What does Russia love? Offing political opponents and sports. This lady kind of fits that mold. I'm saying she doesn't do more than 6 months in jail.
So, which of the two finished second in the whole tournament? Do you think
The poison gal?
the woman who got poisoned?
Yeah.
Rallied,
Yeah.
and she finished second in the tournament.
Puke and rally. Might also add, she's kind of hot too.
Isn't that amazing?
Look at her.
Yeah. Chess hots.
Who
Russian
knew
chess
that
hots.
Russian has chess hots. I didn't know. Do we have chess hots? Like if you go into an American chess tournament, are there a bunch of hots poisoning each other? Man, those Russians, they think of everything. I can't believe someone tried to kill another person over a chess match.
All right. We got to go. In the News is coming up next.
Imagine if that had been Tanya Harding instead of the Galuli thing. They just poisoned her instead.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah?
With mercury
Yeah.
on her little skates.
I mean, it's one thing. Like the knee thing is bad, but at least it was just a whack on the leg, dude. This lady's going full spy versus spy, Mission Impossible. Here's the antidote, sort of thing.
Crazy. All right. PDX, new TSA checkpoints.
Yeah.
They're starting to do.
We got new technology.
Yeah, they're starting to do little vignettes on the news about, hey, here's what you can expect. It's actually pretty cool.
I don't have to put my arms up anymore.
You don't.
No.
You don't. That's next to kick off In the News. Here's Buck. Right now, though, it is August 8, 2024. It is time for In the News. I'm your noted newsman. Hello. Thank you. Thank you so much, ladies.
I like turtles.
Gentlemen,
No, who doesn't?
please be seated.
By the way, I looked up my man, the internet bro, Vin Cerf. And while he didn't get directly paid for the internet, it sounds like every big technology company at some point has tried to hire him, and Google stole him away. And he's posing with like Jaguars, and he's always very well dressed. I think our man Vint is doing just fine.
Name again?
Vint Cerf or Kerf. Vint Cerf.
Oh, yeah.
So
I see him here.
yeah.
Hmm.
So he's yeah. It was a big deal when Google hired him away, and it said his salary was not disclosed, but like it alludes in this article that they came for in 2005. Google went after him big time and probably had to pay up a bit. So
Hard to find his net worth on internet.
yeah, I couldn't find it anywhere. I was like, him and the other bro, the two guys that are credited with the internet, I couldn't find anything on, because they didn't sell the technology or anything like that. They just developed it. But it sounds like both of them were sought after employees at big technology companies during the start of the internet craze, and both received like every degree and award from, they've won a lot of things, a lot of prizes.
He's 81 years old.
Yeah, he's old.
Old guy. Today is International Cat Day.
You know my feeling about cats.
Power rank the tiger, lion, jaguar,
Yeah.
cheetah, and leopard.
Just based on the leopard is the jaguar.
Oh, so cougar.
Yeah, same thing. So like the Black Panther, that's just a black jaguar. So like we're going like on badassness or just my personal rankings?
Well, I want you to
tough.
power rank it. This is
The
important.
the lion's number one. Or no,
Really?
excuse me.
You're excused.
The lion I put way low. I got that.
Why?
The tiger. Because I think the lion's overrated.
Really?
Yeah. He's kind of fat. He's lazy. I do know that. The female lion's the one that does everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, the male lions kind of seem like, I don't know, they're not that cool. Tigers, on the other hand, tigers are badass.
Okay.
Tigers are legit. Tigers 1. I'm going the jaguar, leopard 2. Big fan of those. Those things are just kick-ass. Then I'm putting the cougar. After that, the cougar, mountain lion, puma.
Wow. Okay.
Then I'm going lion because again, I think he's kind of overrated.
Give
And
the cheetah last.
dude, the cheetah's lame.
Really?
Yeah.
All fast?
Yeah, it's
Like
all,
Noah Lyles?
It's all it's got.
Well, it's got spots.
They're kind of
Kinda
candy
cool.
asses. They're the weakest of all the cats. Yeah.
Huh.
It just
All right.
runs real fast. It's like,
Alright.
yeah, whatever.
I will say the Bengal tiger,
Yeah.
dude. Is there a prettier animal?
No.
I mean, that thing is.
Yep. It's
I
truly
think we take it
special.
for granted.
Or dude, sometimes
We
you
should have a
see,
football team with
sometimes
that.
you see one of those leopards or jaguars, though, you see photographs of them in the jungle, especially the ones that are darker. Oh my gosh, are those things the most beautiful animals on the planet? They're jumping down out of trees, taking out crocs and stuff.
Good-looking kitties.
Every time I see
Black
them,
Panther with the green eyes.
yeah, every time I see the male lion, he's just laying down on his ass. He's never doing anything.
Yeah, but that's kind of badass, though.
Yeah.
His balls hanging out.
Yeah, he's kind of like,
Just sitting there all.
it's kind of like pimps and hoes. Like
He's a king.
he keeps a strong pimp hand, but that,
He's the king, man.
I knock the lion down because I feel like he doesn't do a whole lot.
It is also National CBD Day.
Oh, take it every day.
So we have new TSA checkpoints that are about to open at PDX because,
That's
they've
right.
been remodeling the airport
Forever.
for 7 years.
Isn't it like next week that thing?
Very soon.
Yeah.
I don't know about next week, but very soon. And I saw a thing on the telly about what they're doing. And, I will say this new technology that they're dropping in there, that's going to help those lines.
Yes.
Those lines are going to move a lot faster than you're used to.
Yeah.
Because what they've done is they have taken the stupid out of it. In other words, when people get to the line and then they don't know whether they should take their belt or their shoes or they're sifting through their bag for 8 minutes or people become so anxious and a total mess and they're looking for a tub and then do they have to put It's just a mess.
Yeah.
So what they've done now with this new technology, they say, is they're not really the tubs. They come to you. They're just like platforms, and you put your stuff on it. You don't have to take anything out.
It just stays there and just
It zaps right through.
It'll give you cancer in 10 years.
Probably.
But
you'll move fast.
We're going to move fast. You know what? I'm going to take that trade-off. Amen. There's nothing worse than the person that is incapable of navigating the security line.
Yeah, it's just like, dude.
Drives me bananas.
Hurry up.
Yes.
Get your stuff together.
Yes. And by the way, here's my other one. Let me just say this right here. You know you're going through security. Don't wear 17 belts. Don't wear 19 pieces of jewelry. Understand the assignment. We're all trying to get through this, and I can't have you, human piece of cholesterol, clogging the artery of security. Drives me crazy.
So it says the first thing you're going to see is the automated screen lane. And that's going to provide a bin for the traveler to come through. They'll be able to divest everything and keep everything in their bag, which is really important.
Yes.
Instead of having to dump everything out, the TSA will know in seconds if what's going through is something that can go with you or not. Yeah. The second piece of technology you're going to see that's easier for travelers is the X-ray machine. It's the same equipment that's used in the medical field. It allows officers to look at images in 3D. That's the officer on the other side where they're looking at your bag.
And your balls.
No, not that one. I'll get to that one in a second. The one that's looking at your bag, not your ball bag, but your actual bag, that one is going to be faster. They don't have to stop and hone in on things. They can just see right away. In other words, the bags are going to cruise through there.
Better technology.
And then the third thing is, when they're looking at your ball bag, you don't have to raise your hands now. And the thing where the
which I don't understand why that's a big deal, but
Yeah.
whatever.
They were making a big deal out of that on the news. It's like, who cares?
Is anyone ever gone there and been like, this is unbelievable? I have to raise my arms slightly above my shoulders. Although I don't know, maybe someone, when I had my my arm in a sling though, they just wanted me. I couldn't raise my arms. They just wanted
oh, my arm.
Yeah, I don't know why that's such a big deal, but apparently, they were making a big deal that you no longer have to raise your
I
arms.
don't like having to go through that thing. I like going through the one that just beeps.
You don't like the little...
Because they have two.
Yeah, you don't like the X-ray one?
No.
Why is that?
It's mid. I like the beep one because I know I'm not going to beep.
Yeah.
Because I never have anything in my pockets. Because I know what I'm doing in the line, ready for them.
Have you ever beeped at the X-ray?
I mean, maybe. Oh, you mean the X-ray one?
Yeah.
No. I've only gotten randomly chosen
Yeah.
for them to feel me up.
Every now and
Which
then,
I'm all for.
Every now and then, the metal, I've got some metal in my body that can set off the beep. And then the X-ray, they always have to pat underneath my necklace, which I also find interesting. As if I have some sort of...
You're hiding mercury under there.
Yeah, under, what is that, like an inch in diameter? And they always make me lift that and then pat my chest, which I've never asked because I don't want to, I don't want to give them any sort of reason, but I always want to just, what do you think is under there? What do you think is hiding in my skin under my tiny necklace?
Deal asked a good question. He says he's getting TSA pre tomorrow. Mm-hmm. Should he cancel or will that still be faster? That's a good question. I would imagine you still want
get it.
You still want TSA pre. TSA pre is
well
worth.
It's a line cutting pass.
Yes, it's a line.
It's well worth it.
Because even though it's getting you're getting faster times through, you still have to line up, and sometimes those lines alone are just gargantuan. TSA pre-check. Most credit cards, by the way, they take care of it for you. It's like a perk.
All right. Changes in the Beaverton School District. Would you like those, JC Babes?
I
know Buck will.
I have been panicked recently over the lack of changes in that particular school district. And
we have changes.
Thank God.
I think you're going to like these. We'll get to that next. 4:45 on The Fan.
This is The Fan's Window into Sports, a view into today's top stories. Brought to you by Window Nation. Online at
thinking, I don't even remember what airports were like pre 9/11. Like, obviously, I was younger, so I didn't travel that much. Like, was security a breeze before 9/11? Because I remember.
Well, there wasn't.
Well, there was security.
Not like you know it now.
Well, no, but you still had to go through a metal detector. You still had to bring your bag through an X-ray machine. I remember that. But I remember you didn't need a ticket to go to the gate. You could just wander up there. It was way more lax. But I'm trying to remember, was there still crappy lines at airports, or was it just a free-for-all? Like, it's my whole adult life, this has been airports, and I don't really remember what it was like in the 90s or 80s going to airports. I cannot recall.
Well,
you can't either, can you?
You've got me thinking about what security was like, because I don't.
There was security. You couldn't just
had to have been.
You couldn't just bring a gun
I know, but I just don't remember.
But you could kind of just walk up to the gate, right?
Yes.
And people greeted people who were getting off the
That's
plane.
That's what I'm saying. You did not need a ticket. You could just walk,
right.
but I remember you still had to go through security, but you didn't need a ticket. You didn't need to show ID. None of that. There was no ID. None of that. No tickets. That would all happen at the gate. But I'm trying to remember if I was ever stuck in a line at the airport. If it was just because it was just. Or did you just breeze through?
I'm reading that before 9/11, travelers passed through metal detectors for only weapons like guns and knives that were checked. Otherwise, I mean, you could still even bring box cutters and blades under 4 inches. So.
Yeah, well, that's the 9/11 guys had box cutters.
Yep.
But yeah, there was still, I still remember there being security because. You can't bring up.
But where was security? Like, so I don't remember security before 9/11. Like, where was it?
See, again, this is where I remember going through security checks. Where they were at in the airport, I don't know. My guess is roughly around the same part. I mean,
I don't think so. I remember just waltzing right in.
No.
And heading to any gate that I wanted.
That you could do, but there was
with my booze.
You could. That's true. Liquids, all that was on the table. But you didn't need to produce a ticket. I do know that. You could wander wherever you wanted, but there was still security protocol. But there was like one old lady, I think, who was there, and she was like, whatever, just go through.
But you're right, you could go to any gate at any minute.
Yes.
Anytime you wanted.
Yes. Which, by the way, I'm not going to say that anything good came out of 9/11 because, 9/11. But how nice is it that you don't have to walk anyone to the gate anymore? Like, that's an amazing thing. Because in the olden days, I do remember like my mom coming back from trips and my dad and like us, we had to go meet her at the gate. It wasn't enough to just do the airport pickup. The airport pickup used to be park your car, walk, be at the gate, waiting for the person to get off.
Yeah, and that was kind of a beating.
Yeah, and then when you had to drop someone off at the airport, I remember a bunch of times being a kid, park the car, walk into the gate, wait for them to get off. Now, it's great. You pull up to the airport, you drop them at the curb, and you know what? If the plane's delayed, that's on you. Figure it out at the airport. That one aspect of air travel, way better now than it used to be.
All right, this is in the news for Aug 8, 2024. Students will be more energized and ready to learn, more alert in Beaverton. That's because they have changed when the first bell will ring.
Oh.
Jace.
Are we doing the studies show that it's better to push it later in the day?
Yes.
Yeah.
Studies show the kids are zombies at that age, or at that time of day.
Well, good.
So the first bell used to be at 7:45, and coming up this year in the Beaverton School District, beginning here, I guess they go back to school pretty soon, don't they?
Yeah, end of August, beginning of September, most schools are back in.
This year it's 8:45.
We did this over in Washington a few years ago because of the same thing. Someone figured out that kids perform better when you don't make them wake up at the butt crack of dawn, especially a lot of kids that have to take the buses like out in rural areas. When I lived in the center, some of those kids were catching buses at like 6:30 in the morning, which means you're up at 5:45, 6.
There's no question the data shows they're way better if they have more sleep time.
Yeah.
Not that they actually use it, but
just gives you an excuse to stay up later.
Take that for data.
Portland Public Schools and Salem Kaiser Schools have already done this. Beaverton is kind of lagging, but they're now on board.
Yeah, well, that's good. Kids, you get to sleep in a little bit. And I'm sure parents are happy about it too. They don't have to wake up as early. Or maybe they do. I don't know. Maybe parents are pissed because they got to shuffle them off to school and then go to work.
Well, and then, your day is going to be later, right? Because you got stuff after school and
all the after school activities,
sports and all that.
Look, no matter what you do, it's going to piss off someone. But if this is better for learning, then I'm all for it. Help the kids out. God knows we need it because the Chinese are coming for our country anyways. And they're outworking us, quite frankly. Fat, uneducated, beer.
I don't see them leading the medal count.
No, they're just leading China. Just leading the world in business, that's all.
You freaking bitch!
Who is leading the medal count?
We are.
Is it us?
We are. Come on.
Dude, we're kicking it.
We just don't do it in the Winter Olympics, but the Summer Olympics, that's ours.
We're killing it.
It took us a while to surpass the Chinese in gold medals, but we now have that too.
Well, then you know what? Take that, China. Boom. Keep your doctors and, I don't know, you make everything that we use, but hey, when it comes to running in a circle, USA, baby.
You feeling that wildfire smoke? The air quality has dipped.
I haven't, I didn't. I was outside today riding around and I did not, I didn't notice any gagging. I'm going to gag at this Panthers-Patriots game, though.
Yeah, an air quality advisory is in effect. Salem, Portland, Vancouver, Longview, Kelso, till 8 o'clock tonight.
Felt fine today.
Elevated levels of smog from wildfire smoke. Hot. It's hot out there today.
It is hot.
Hot weather.
It's steamy.
So be careful.
I feel like it's been very muggy lately.
Anyone
else?
Yeah, this summer has.
Like
well, the
extra
last
muggy?
couple weeks it's been more muggy than I can remember it here.
Yeah, feel that way. Because even when it's not super hot out in the morning, so I always try to get out and get her done before it really turns hot. It's still kicking my ass in the morning with the humidity.
What else do I have for you here?
I don't know.
Bloop, bloop, bloop. Bloop, bloop, I think that's in the news.
That's it. Well, someone asked on the Vacation Ford text line, where is this topic going? Right to break.
Van Key Ford text line?
Yeah, that's where this is going.
Where's what topic going?
Oh, someone on the Vancouver Ford text line said, hey, where is this topic going?
Here's the situation.
Quite frankly, how long you've been listening to the show, you're really asking where a topic is going?
It's over.
Might go up your ass.
You fool.
How far up your ass is your head?
Exactly.
You can take your Halloween and shove it up your little kid ass.
And I'm not lying. This Panthers-Patriot game is atrocious.
No way.
I just flipped over from baseball and I really regret it. I'm going back to baseball.
I mean, come on.
I can't help it. Preseason football is a problem
That's
for
what
me.
I was thinking. Football's back. Let's watch a little bit of it. No, thank you.
I know what I
don't
was going
think
to tell you. Do you guys ever go to Mount Tabor Brewery?
I do not.
They are closing. Another one. Another brewery
I hate
closing.
to say it, but a home away from home for the Sucana kids. My kids have all worked there. Pips and Bounce shut down too.
Oh, it did?
Yeah. Yeah.
I like that place.
That place was good. Little ping pong bar.
I like the giant Connect 4.
Yes. Yeah, that was a fun place. Every one of the Sucanic children has done a tour of duty there.
I was going to say, didn't your kids work there?
Yeah. So no more.
What's going on there?
They just shut down. Well, I mean, COVID, and then they just didn't recover. A lot of places just never fully recovered.
Damn it.
The traffic down there just hasn't quite gone back, and they just.
I don't like hearing that.
No, I did get the Rainier beer tap handle though, so I got that going.
All about you.
It's all about me.
Mount Tabor Brewing announcing today it is shutting down operations at both its Southeast Portland and Vancouver locations. So if you liked Mount Tabor Brewing,
I'm sorry.
You'll have to get their beer
somewhere else. Well, are they still going to sell the beer? Just the
somewhere else?
Are they still selling the beer? Just the tap rooms are closing, or
I don't know,
everything
dude.
going away?
No, just these two. I'm sure they still make beer.
I don't know.
Delicious beer, award-winning beer. All right, let's get out of here. That is in the news for Aug 8, 2024. The Hot 5 at 5 is next. You know, the White Sox, they are pretty hasty, but they have made a move.
Finally. I can't believe it.
Action at the Olympics. We got the NFL preseason, and guess the number of fights at Seahawks practice today. All of that next on The Fan.
I'm just about that action, boss.
Hey, it's Sook. And guys, for those of you with a full head of hair, congratulations. Studies show that one of the most attractive
Hope you're having a nice little Thursday. It is your sports bros, Rop and Sook. We are having a good time. We're partying.
I'm a little disappointed right now in myself.
Why?
That I did not pay attention to the fact that the Patriots and the Panthers were playing tonight. And if there's one man that loves one particular thing about a sport, it's this guy right here in punts. And I did not wear the best sweatshirt that I own. I did not wear my punt sweatshirt today. And I don't know if you've seen what's been going on in this action, but let me just go through the drive chart right now.
That's not action.
We're in the middle of the second quarter. Carolina Panthers, 3 and out. Then New England, 4 and out. 3 and out. 6 and out. 3 and out. Get ready for this. 7 plays, -4 yards, punt. 4 plays, 19 yards, punt. 6 plays, punt. We are in and what's happening right now on this drive right here? Punt.
Who's playing quarterback?
Everybody.
What do you mean?
The Patriots have already been through all 3 of theirs. So we've already had Zappy, May, and Brissett. And then for the Caroliners, the Caroliners Panther, they've got that Plummer kid. He's been going the whole way.
Where's Bryce Young?
He's a Beta Theta. He ain't playing in this. He's busy with Beta Theta.
He's too good for this?
He's busy playing with the Beta Theta stuff. But this is somewhere an Iowa football fan is watching this with tight corn pants.
What is the freaking
Panthers
doing?
They're punting.
So how many punts do we have so far?
So we so far have, I believe, let's see here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have 8 possessions and 8 punts. My favorite is the drive that has the most plays, the 7-play drive. That resulted in -4 yards. That's the offensive output that we have right here.
Has a game ever gone where every possession ended in a punt?
I don't think so. But if one could, I may give you this one. Although now with this punt, New England's basically in field goal range as it is. They just need like 3 yards and they can kick this field goal. NFL preseason action. It's fantastic.
All right, coming up next, we will talk about athletes with strange career arcs. One is leaving us today.
Yeah.
We have our NFL Nutella. Or is it Nutella?
Yeah. That's
Which
tough.
is it? I've always said it Nutella, but
I've always said Nutella.
Nutella.
But because it's made of is it like hazelnut?
Yeah.
Hazelnut and chocolate.
So I just nut. I think the nut is in there, but I'm open to new.
Coming up tonight in the club, we have a new Yellowstone star.
that hunk of crap is still around?
Well, they have spinoffs.
Oh, yeah.
There were the 2 spinoffs already, and there's another one coming.
I think they're trying to finish the original one without Costner. I think they're filming it. I think they're making the attempt.
And who would win an all-out war? ISIS or the Swifties?
Oh, boy, that's interesting. What if the Swifties had the cat people on their side, too?
You talk about a battle.
That is a battle.
That'll be in the club, 6 to 7 right now, the Hot 5. Hot 5 at 5.
Taylor Swift, there she is.
Hot topics, hot opinions,
Oh, golly, I'm hot today.
and hot air. It's time for the Hot 5 at 5.
That's hot.
The Hot 5 at 5 on Primetime with Isaac and Sue.
No, I mean it. That's very hot.
The Hot 5 at 5 with Isaac and Sue. Brought to you on The Fan by Victorico's Mexican Food, the most popular burrito spot in Oregon. Online at victoricos.com.
Damn it, we have our first non-punt.
Yeah. Daily Zappy.
It's like dude, that thing should have been a pick
Number
6 going the other
5.
way. The Carolina guy just botched it. But now New England's got it at like the 3.
Yeah, we do have NFL preseason action, if you can call it action tonight. We've got the Patriots and Panthers scoreless second quarter, but Patriots knocking on the door. And then we have the Giants, who have just taken a 7-0 lead on the Lions.
Yes.
In the second quarter.
Fighting Dan Campbell's.
Yeah, why am I reporting these scores? I don't know.
Dude, I need you to get on board preseason
It's
football.
preseason. Who
Get
cares?
on board.
Who cares? Why?
Are you betting on the Ravens?
No. I'm not betting on preseason football.
Free
We
money.
are.
When do they play?
We have to find out when they play.
You don't even know when they play.
Yeah, they play the Eagles
This weekend.
I don't know what day it's on, but they got the Eagles. And I'll tell you what.
What's the line?
Someone's already got it loaded up.
What do you just do, money line on that?
No, I think, but this spread, it's like 1.5.
So what do? You play the number?
I usually just play it straight up, but sometimes if I get a favorable number, but I usually just do the money line and the Ravens.
We will be betting on it during our show tomorrow because they play at 4:30 tomorrow afternoon.
Brat's Chop. Rob doesn't want free money. Be my guest.
Tutty Patriots.
That's so disappointing.
More starts for the Patriots this year. Bailey Zappi, Drake May, or Jacoby Brissett?
Brissett.
I'm gonna say Zappi.
It ain't gonna be Drake May.
Hey, the White Sox have fired their manager, Pedro Grifol. A former All-Star and noted hunk, Grady Sizemore takes over in the interim.
At what point do you know that your job's done? Like, where in the 21 game losing streak, you're like, yes, this may be over.
Is it like a happy surprise every 13 game, 14 game you could pop in there? You're like, I still don't have that pink slip yet. This is great.
Do you think his first word was, finally?
Thank God. And Sizemore's like, really?
Sizemore.
Do I have to take
By
this?
the way, where did you say he's from?
Mill Creek, Washington, outside of Seattle.
Is he really?
Yeah. A friend of mine was in his second grade class.
Grady Sizemore, by the way, hanging dong.
Yeah, noted hunk.
Noted nudes leaked Grady Sizemore.
Oh, he has nudes out there, huh?
Yeah, he does.
Mariners turned to Brian Wu to avoid a sweep at the hands of the Tigers tonight. Seattle, if they win, they would pull even with the idle Astros atop the AL West. Okay, only 5 fights at Seahawks practice today.
Hey, congratulations.
The nastiest of which had DK Metcalf getting the helmet of Trey Brown and swinging it at his head.
Yeah, you got to stop that.
Luckily, he missed, but he did hit Kayvon Wallace, who was wearing his helmet, thankfully. Mike McDonald had to stop practice. He said that Metcalf eventually addressed the team and all is well. Nothing to see here.
Dude, I'm telling you, DK Metcalf is, mark my words, before his career is done, he is going to have a LeGarrette Blount type situation or a Myles Garrett. Something really, really bad is going to happen because that dude cannot control himself.
And now other teams know they can push those buttons, and they try to. The Niners did all last season.
He's got some serious anger issues.
Also, you know that the NFL Network caught that on camera? It was just randomly in the background of one of their shots, that helmet swinging.
I think at some lower college or whatever, I think someone recently got arrested for that, just like a couple days ago for hitting someone in the head with a helmet. Maybe it was a high school, but yeah, you can't do that.
The first Seahawks preseason game is Saturday here on the Fan against the Chargers. Geno Smith not expected to play. Noah Lyles was looking to become the first American to win the gold in the 100 and 200 in the same game since Carl Lewis in 1984. He did not. He is fighting COVID. He wins the bronze in the 200, but has since backed out of the Olympics altogether. He then got whipped out in a wheelchair.
Yeah, which I thought was a bit much, but it's still pretty badass that if you really did have bad COVID and you took bronze, it's pretty impressive. Because he was a favorite in the 200. That was his event.
U.S. women's volleyball will play for the gold on Sunday after a thrilling 5-set win over Brazil. Some believe the women's 400-meter hurdle was teed up to be the most must-see race at these Olympics. They called it the track equivalent of Babe Ruth and Shohei Ohtani meeting in the World Series. It was American Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone versus Femke Bol from Netherlands.
She was the lady that sounds like Minnie Mouse. This was her event.
They're rivals, and they're both great, but the American prevails. New world record and the gold for McLaughlin-Levrone.
That's Levrone.
I think it's Levrone.
I think you're going to hear a clip coming up that says Levrone.
Okay.
Look at you.
Damn it. The rival Bull finished with the boring-ass bronze.
Take that. What do you call the Netherlanders? Like, what is
the Netherlanders?
No, but they're like, Dutch, like you Dutch ass. I don't know. Like,
what?
I was trying to think of like, what's a good insult for the Dutch?
What is happening?
What would you insult someone?
I don't know. I don't like to insult people.
Well, I want to put.
Unlike you.
I want to put old Fembol here in her place. Old Minnie Mouse.
Men's basketball semifinal, Team USA versus Jokic in Serbia. The Americans trailed by 13 after 3 quarters, but they rally to win.
Dude, that was the event of the Olympics.
95-91.
Dude, if the gold medal game, there's no way the gold medal game against the French lives up to that, because that Serbia game was bananas.
Well, I'll tell you what, the gold medal game against the French is going to be wild because it's the home.
Yeah. home team. We
home
got
country.
Wemby and
yeah, I mean it's gonna be a great scene. It was a great scene today. Steph Curry had 36. He hit the go-ahead 3 at the 2:20 mark. A big shot by Kevin Durant down the stretch, and a triple-double for ya boy LeBron. So the U.S. against France, that'll be Saturday. Wemby was just 4 of 17, but they still beat Germany to advance to the final. That final was 73-69.
They were underdogs in that one, too.
yeah, like France was not supposed to be here. So again, in theory, they said Serbia was our toughest competition, and it turned out indeed they were.
Are we do we have a line on the USA France game?
16.5.
Yeah. So what was the Serbia line?
It opened at 17.5. By tip-off, it was 15.
Okay, so well, put that in your pipe. Maybe I take the French and the points, but there's no way we lose gold after that, right? There's no way.
In the words of Herb Brooks, after they pulled off Miracle, he told them, this was the semifinal games. If you lose this next one, they will effing bury you. So that's what'll happen.
Said you will regret it for the rest of your life. And then what did we do? We went out and won gold.
Well,
Micah Ruzioni
smoked him.
I love how you're still saying there's no way when you just said there's no way the other day and they damn near lost.
Hey, there was no way. They won. They
God.
won. We're taking down the French. We're not losing to the French. America. Yeah. That's right.
Hot 5 at 5 brought to you by Victor Rico's Mexican Food, the most popular burrito spot in Oregon. Order now at victorricos.com. Coming up next, pro athletes and strange career arcs. It is 5:13 on the Fan.
Yeah.
Okay, it's time to workshop tomorrow's poll question. And I think it's a pretty good one.
Okay.
You want some poll?
Yeah, give me some poll.
And it is what? Well, we'll start with this question. Which pro athlete has had the strangest career arc to you? And this comes to mind because today we are losing a great.
We're losing a good.
Or a mid.
Yeah, his record is he's a 500. His record's 500.
But you want to talk about strange career arcs.
Yes.
I give you Nick Foles, Eagles quarterback who is retiring officially.
Yes.
So, the initial names that I have put on tomorrow's poll question, we're gonna poll the electorate. Which pro athlete had the strangest career arc? The first two that come to mind are him and Kurt Warner.
Kurt Warner's a stranger.
Okay, who else should I? So here are some other names I'm considering.
Okay.
Well, who comes to mind for you? Is there anybody that?
Well, you just said the first one for me is Kurt Warner, because Kurt Warner went from, I don't even know where Kurt Warner played in college. Honestly, I don't.
Northern Iowa.
Was it Northern Iowa? And then he did
maybe.
I don't know if that's right.
See, I don't know where he played college, but he played for the Iowa like Barnstormers. He went and it was in the NFL Europe, like
Northern Iowa, indeed.
Northern Iowa, where I went, and then he ended up hitching on to the NFL as just a bum around guy, and then Trent Green blows out his knee. Kurt Warner comes in and becomes the best quarterback in the NFL, right? Like, by the way, starts the Patriot dynasty, loses that, but he becomes a Super Bowl winning quarterback. And then he's get like that weird hand injury and he can't play. Like, he's an absolute bum. And he bounces around to a couple places and his career's over. He goes to Arizona as an afterthought backup to Matt Leinart, who's supposed to be this golden boy thing. Matt Leinart sucks. They were like, well, we can't keep playing Matt Leinart. We throw Kurt Warner in, and he damn near leads them to another Super Bowl. Like, and now he's in the Hall of Fame. There is, like, Kurt Warner wins. Like, and I'm open to the idea that there is a stranger career arc, but when you said strange career arc, the very first thing that popped in my head was that man.
A couple of other names I'm toying with. Jeremy Lin.
That's pretty good.
Comes to mind.
Yep.
Also, and I don't know why, but Rick Ankiel popped into my head.
Oh, yeah.
Well, he converted positions. So,
because
well, I mean, I know why.
He had a mental breakdown.
Yeah, he's just kind of an obscure one. Josh Hamilton could be on the list.
That's good too. 100%. That's weird.
You know what one I popped in my head immediately, and I know it's been heavily politicized, but Colin Kaepernick. He popped in for Alex Smith on an injury and then took him to the freaking Super Bowl and then became this pariah and never played again.
Dude, those are all really good ones that I can't say that I was thinking of off the top of my head.
Well, we need you to be better. Aren't you a sports guy?
I am a sports guy. Bose was pretty good.
Bo Jackson.
Bo Jackson, because, that was one of those where no one even knew Bo played baseball. He was this generational running back that was like this legendary thing. He didn't want to go play for a crappy team. And so he was like, I'll play baseball. And everyone was like, what? You're going to go play baseball. And then he literally just gives up football to go play baseball. Turns out he's really good at baseball, even though no one knew he played it. Oh, and then, by the way, I'm going to come back part-time and be the best running back in the NFL. Like, that's pretty good. And then, of course, the hip injury, and he never played football again, but he came back and had some okay years playing baseball.
Some peeps bringing up Doug Flutie.
Really?
I don't know.
But Doug was never a good NFL player.
How about this guy? And this won't make the poll question, but does anybody else wonder what the hell happened to Chris Bryant?
That's not bad.
There's one brewing right now, too, and it's Tim Anderson. We just passed the 1-year anniversary of him getting knocked out by Jose Ramirez.
And he got.
But he was a batting champ. He was like the king of that cornfield game, and he was like the hot thing. And now he's like basically out of baseball.
Well, he did go to the Marlins.
It's true, but he couldn't stick with them.
Although he was on the White Sox, they're even worse.
Yeah, they designated him for assignment though. Like he was he was one.
Well, he's kind of old, isn't he?
I don't think so. Is he? Is he old?
I don't know. I didn't think so.
I'm just trying to think of anyone else that had.
No, but seriously, what has happened to Chris Bryant? Where did he go?
Well, Cody Bellinger had that.
Anderson's 31.
Ooh, Bellinger's good.
Cody Bellinger was an MVP. Like, Cody Bellinger was like the next thing in baseball. And then and he's kind of had some bounce back, but he went from MVP, World Series hero. Remember he had that stupid shoulder bump thing where he hurt his arm doing that, and then like he just decided to suck for 2 years. He was terrible.
Yeah, Carson Wentz coming in on the Vancouver Ford text line.
Wentz is pretty good.
That's also a good one because he was like MVP level, and
MVP level, got hurt, Foles took his
sucked.
place, and never was good again.
What about Bryson?
What?
Bryson DeChambeau.
Oh.
I'm thinking of people who have done weird things. He was a guy that was pretty much hated. He had the whole professor thing. He was full of himself. He went over to live. Now people kind of like him again. He's winning majors. I don't know. He's just kind of fascinating to me.
Yeah.
The other one, I guess I was trying to think of like it would only be if he bounced back, because like I was thinking with the Doucher, because he bounced back and is now popular, but he was never bad.
That's true.
But on the Kurt Warner, because Kurt Warner was bad. Kurt Warner, he couldn't play. Dude, Ben Simmons.
Ooh, that's good.
Ben Simmons was an all NBA player. Like, I don't know if he ever got defensive player of the year, but Ben Simmons was first team all defense. And like, I see it pop up all the time on Hot Takes Exposed. There's one of Colin bagging LeBron, saying that LeBron can leave the NBA. We don't need him anymore because you have Ben Simmons. He's like, LeBron, we don't need you. Your time is past. You're washed up. Move on. The new LeBron is here, and he's talking about Ben Simmons. And now, this is Ben Simmons. Now, if he would need a redemption story for that to be a great arc. He just fell off a cliff.
I was gonna say he's just kind of a bust.
Yeah,
like it's not really that strange of a career arc. He just kind of sucks and is a bitch.
But he was good. He was.
Nah, he was.
Dude, he was good.
He was capable, but like many guys that are capable, they just aren't any good for whatever reason. Can't get out of their own way. They're always hurt. Whatever it is, he's just a bust.
Yeah.
Vancouver Ford text line says Michael Vick.
That's a good one.
That's a great one.
Yeah. Don't mind me in the middle of my all-pro career. I got to take a break and go to prison for dogfighting.
And then come back
and be successful.
And he made $100 million the second time.
And by the way, came back as an actual quarterback. He wasn't the athlete that he was, but he actually came back a better quarterback after prison. That's a good one. And now is kind of like a nice he's a nice guy. Like he goes on a bunch of like radio shows and stuff, and he's actually pretty when he does the analyst stuff, I think he does a pretty good job. It's that's a pretty good one.
Okay. So I think we have our
We got enough.
Yeah, I think I'm going to put
O.J. Simpson.
Aaron Hernandez?
Would have been if like Hernandez had come back and played.
I think I'm going to put Kurt Warner, Jeremy Lin, Nick Foles.
I'm being dead serious on this.
Who should be the fourth? Hamilton?
Hamilton's is good.
Hamilton or...
I mean, from number one, the best prospect in baseball, the drug stuff, wins an MVP, and then disappears again.
Yeah, and then he came back, didn't he?
He came back, but he never was he got divorced, and there were some rumors, and he just kind of faded away. I don't remember him retiring. He just was kind of faded away. That's a solid one.
Yeah. Well, that's going to be tomorrow's poll.
I was thinking, though, with the Aaron Hernandez thing, because, prison and death.
Yeah, boy.
So there was no chance of this because he offed himself. Who's my man, Henry Ruggs? Dude, Ruggs is going to get out of prison in a couple years. And
is he?
Yeah. Because I think he got like 6 or 7 years, and he'll serve half of that, and he'll be out. He'll be on parole, but he'll be out. You think anyone's got the balls?
Yes. Yeah, I do.
Dude, he burned that lady alive.
Well, but he did his time.
Yeah.
I mean, that was the thing about Vic.
Yeah, his sentence was 3 to 10 years. It's going to be closer to 3 than 10.
That's crazy.
He's going to get out, and I want to see what NFL team got the cojones to be like, well.
I mean, he was going to be really good.
I mean, the Cowboys did with Greg Hardy.
There's a difference between domestic violence and literally cooking a woman alive because you drunkenly ran her over.
But that's more of an accident, whereas the
exactly.
the spousal or domestic abuse thing is a choice.
Well,
I mean, obviously that's a choice too. But
I do think when guys come, look, not every team has to sign Henry Ruggs. If you say, hey, that's not a guy I want on my team, I totally get that. But when somebody does something terrible like that and goes through the system and pays their dues, whether you think that's enough time or not. I mean, it's pretty cut and dry that he deserves a chance if he can play. It's just,
It's gonna be
it
interesting.
doesn't have to be your I mean, like, you don't have to do it, but somebody will for sure.
Yeah.
He's a good player.
They didn't with Heimlich. Never got an opportunity.
Yeah, but he's not really Henry Ruggs. I mean, that's a tough.
He was going to be a first-round pick.
Yeah.
He was 100%. Dude, he was arguably the best pitcher in college baseball. Would have been a first-round.
But he also didn't. Again, he didn't go through the system and serve time.
Well, I mean,
I think that's a I think that's a big difference.
He kind of did. I mean, he pled guilty and went through that, and no one touched him. No one was.
Yeah,
They were like, nope, not doing it.
Apparently, Ruggs is working as a community trustee at the prison that he's in, and he makes
no idea what that means.
He makes $2.50 an hour.
What is a community trustee?
I don't know. I think
what does that person do?
I think they're just like kind of an ambassador, you know?
For the prison?
Yeah, just
you have no idea, and so you
yeah,
idea what you're talking.
I have no clue, but Trevor Bauer's coming up too.
Oh yeah, that's pretty good.
But he
what
also
was it? A community what?
They call him a community trustee at the facility.
Trustee? What is he?
Trustee?
Looking over their finances?
It's just what? Like my portfolio is in some trouble. I need Henry Ruggs the third. He does have that third behind him. It makes it seem very professional.
It sounds prestigious.
Says here, community trustee offenders represent a limited potential to misbehave and represent a low risk to escape while assigned to employment within the community.
Okay. So he gets to work outside of the prison?
I don't think that. I think he works in the prison.
Oh.
But they're saying they're not too worried about Ruggs.
Yeah, he's not
taking off.
No. Wouldn't that be something though? Like you're just out and about in Vegas and like Henry Ruggs is, working,
cleaning up
the
street.
Somebody said Delonte West might have slept with LeBron's mom, then becomes homeless with the NBA career in between.
Yeah, but we need.
But that was post career.
Yeah, I think we really, in order to get the career arc, we got to have like a.
Yeah, it's got to be highs and lows.
Someone else says Yasiel Puig.
He was never like. He's had a lot of hype.
Yeah,
I think we're stretching a bit here.
I think we're stretching. Yeah.
We got our guys. But anyway, let's come back and talk about Nick Foles.
Yes. A lot of big D energy there.
Did you know he has a statue outside of the Eagles Stadium?
No.
He does.
Get right there out of town.
Is it small? Or is it like a big one?
That's what she said.
Not with Nick, she didn't.
No. They know what's up.
It's a big one of him and Doug Peterson calling, the famous
Philly.
Philly special.
They have a statue of those two talking about
That's cool.
I had no idea. I was just at that stadium like 2 years ago. I never saw that.
Well,
I missed it.
Someone just says that trustees are what they call prison workers in prison, so he's just working in prison.
But they trust him to
work.
And it's not trustee as in like employee, it's trustee. Trusty.
Oh.
Kind of a weird.
Yeah, that's an adjective.
Kind of a weird thing. All right, guys.
Let's focus.
Big hot Nick Foles talk is coming up next.
$73 million worth.
Here's Buck.
Now,
report the first half of this monster game between the Carolina Panthers and New England Patriots. That's 14 possessions, 13 punts. That damn touchdown. Bailey Zappi made one play and ruined my perfect 14 for 14.
It's quickly becoming a thorn in your side, too.
It really is.
Just wait till the second half, dude.
Not happy at all.
Isn't the first half supposed to be the better players?
Yes.
Maybe we get the worst tacklers in the second half.
Yeah, see, I don't like this. I think in the second half we're going to get a breakdown and there'll be some big plays to be had. But I was this close. Because they were like on the 33. I was confident that they could manage a punt out of that drive. And Zappi made a throw that should have been knocked down. The Panther dude botched it. Now we've ruined my perfect half of punts.
So how do you explain Nick Foles' career? So 27 tutties and 2 picks, quarterback rating 119 in that magical season under Chip Kelly.
Yeah.
He had just been drafted 3rd round. He goes to the Pro Bowl, they win the division. The next season he struggles. He gets traded, then he's released. He bounces around. He finally signs in Philly as Carson Wentz backup. Yeah. Wentz gets hurt, and all of a sudden, Foles marches him to a Super Bowl. He beats Tom Brady, and he wins the Super Bowl MVP.
Yeah.
He then goes to 3 teams in 4 seasons, never does crap, and he retires.
Yeah.
How do you explain that?
This is how I explain it. He was a good, and remember him in Arizona. He was a solid quarterback. So this isn't a fluke thing. Nick Foles could play the position. He had all the tools. He gets to Philadelphia, and Chip was running some stuff that, again, much like college, it took a little bit of time to figure out. And against bad teams, that offense gave people problems, and it was a very college-oriented offense, and it was something that Nick Foles fit right into. And we saw this as Chip went on. Once it got exposed, there was no other layer to it. It's like he had a really good fastball and people just caught up to the fastball and there was no changeup. There was no curveball. So that kind of ended up killing off Nick Foles. He played in a college system out of college and it was kind of lightning in a bottle. And we've seen this. Like, remember Derek Anderson made a Pro Bowl in Cleveland. Vince Young was Rookie of the Year. We've seen guys come in and play within the confines of a system or are really athletic and you can have a brief window of success. And it never was quite the same after that. But for that brief run in Philadelphia, what happened was, again, Nick Foles was a solid quarterback. He was like a Ryan Fitzpatrick type. And when he got there at the end of that run there, let's not forget that Philly was one of the 2 best teams in football. And they had oodles and noodles of talent around there. And he played within the confines of a system and he got hot. He went on a nice stretch. And yes, he did outduel Tom Brady. Although Tom Brady actually in that game, that was Tom Brady's best Super Bowl. He threw for 500 yards. It was just that New England couldn't stop Philadelphia.
So are we then saying that Ryan Fitzpatrick can get hot and win a Super Bowl?
Yes.
Because I feel like Foles is one of one in a sense that whether you label him a Ryan Fitzpatrick type starter, because Fitzpatrick was a starter.
Yes.
Or a perennial backup, whatever you label him, because he really was both in his career, which is rare. Usually we get an idea after 7 seasons of which a guy is. It's just you can't, like, he rose up in huge ways but couldn't sustain anything.
Yeah.
So I don't know what to do with him.
I just view him again like if you wanted to throw out like a comp, like a Robert Ory type. He was, how about trying the best way to summarize this for me? He was a solid quarterback that had some opportunities, and by opportunities, 3 games. And in those 3 games, he rose to the occasion. But just because Robert Ory hits a big shot every now and then, Robert Ory was not a great player. He wasn't even a very good player. He just, because he was fortunate enough to play on good teams, he had opportunities, and in those moments, he didn't shrink from it.
Yeah. So I guess the deal with Foles is that I think a lot of people think that if your starting quarterback goes down and you're in the playoffs, you're not. I mean, the backup is not taking you to the promised land.
I think it'd be interesting to see how many teams backups you would feel confident in having to take over.
Well, I mean, and I think 0. Like, in other words, there's a difference between a backup coming in and keeping you afloat and a backup coming in and winning Super Bowl MVP over Tom Brady.
But I do think there are candidates out there in the league who could do what Foles did.
Yes.
I mean,
like who?
Like Gardner Minshew for one, he's a guy that's young enough, who's had enough success. He could string 3 games together if he needed to, if he was on the right team for it.
Yeah, see,
really,
and that's where I go.
I think
that's why I brought up Ryan Fitzpatrick. Ryan Fitzpatrick was not.
We think
he wasn't a starting quarterback. He was a bridge quarterback. He was who you brought in when there wasn't a better option. I think that, to me, if Ryan Fitzpatrick had been the backup quarterback in Philadelphia, they could have won that Super Bowl.
I thought that way about Sam Darnold with the Niners last year. Now he's going to be the starter in Minnesota this year, but that was one that fit for me too.
And like, it's so weird how, like, again, it's a serendipity sort of thing, because Nick Foles played 3 playoff games, right, that year that they
did he play regular season games?
Yeah, he played a couple, and I'll look those up here, but I looked it up. So he played really well in the conference title game. And they blew out Minnesota, by the way, 38-7, and Nick went for 26 to 33, 350 3 tutties, no interceptions. But they blew out Minnesota. Minnesota wasn't even an option for him. I mean, they got pounded. And then of course they had the big game against New England, where he went 28 to 43, 373, 3 touchdowns, 1 pick, and their defense couldn't stop New England. But again, couple breaks go your way. That wild card game, they beat Atlanta 15-10, and he only threw for 246 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions. Like, think about that. Like, that's a game that can go either way. And Foles didn't play great, he didn't play bad, but if they have a break that goes the other way and Atlanta beats them, none of this is Nick Foles is lost to history forever. Or if Carson Wentz doesn't get hurt, we never hear of Nick Foles. He's just another guy that had 1 year.
I think what's interesting too is, you look at that season he had with Chip Kelly.
Yeah.
His numbers were off the charts.
Yeah. They were really good.
And I just don't see like a Gardner Minshew suddenly having those kinds of numbers with anybody.
But I go back to, I think that was a product of a college quarterback in a college system that the NFL wasn't ready for.
Yeah. So it was just a one-off.
It was a one-off. It was lightning. Well,
in a maybe bottle. Nick Foles' entire career is a one-off. Somebody brought up Jeff Hostetler.
Yeah, Hostetler won.
But was he was the starter?
He was the starter because basically all year. I think Phil Simms got hurt, and he wasn't like a fill-in at the end or anything like that. I mean,
was he their backup quarterback?
I think he was the backup. You'd have to look up the circumstances because they won the Super Bowl with Phil Simms, and I believe Phil got hurt. I don't remember if he got hurt at the end of the year, and then Hostetler was the guy going into that season, or if Phil got hurt at the beginning of the year. But Hostetler, I believe, was their quarterback for the bulk of that year or all of it.
What about Tom Brady? Came in for Drew Bledsoe.
Yeah.
He was the backup.
He was the backup.
He did the job.
Well, a
lot of
guys are the backup at some point. But God. So that year with Chip, was I want to look at that. I'm trying to look at some regular season numbers for him to see where they're at and like what their record was. So he went 8-2 with Chip.
Only started 10 games?
Yeah, only started 10 games.
Did he get hurt?
Well, I guess he played in 13 games, but only started 10. So my guess is the other guy someone else was the quarterback, and they went to Foles. But he threw 27 touchdowns, 2 picks, had a quarterback rating of 119.
Yeah, that's what I said. I mean, it's really unbelievable.
Yeah, he had a 10, but again, 10 game stretches. I'm not saying that isn't one of the better 10 game stretches, but it's weird. I'm telling you, you can go find these 8. It's usually more like 8, but you can find these stretches where seemingly good but not great quarterbacks have them, and you're like, holy hell. And then
I guess it was
reality comes crashing down.
I thought maybe it was the whole season. I didn't realize he only had 10
games.
10 starts.
Yeah.
I thought
starts.
Yeah, that was Vic. So Vic was Chip Kelly had Mike Vick.
Yeah.
They said Vic
was in Philly.
Vic had 6 starts and went 2-4. I don't know if they benched Vic or Vic got hurt, but that's when Foles came in.
Yeah. And then he never came anywhere near that again.
Except that he won a Super Bowl. So what you're saying is, I think to summarize all this, even borderline starting quarterbacks for small sample sizes on good teams
yes,
can win a Super Bowl.
100%.
See, that's not something I would have thought before.
Well, I mean, there's a reason. I mean,
like when Tyrod Taylor came in, I think, right,
sure.
for Lamar.
Yep.
I'm like, dude, they're not. It's it. They may win a game. They almost beat Cincinnati, but they're not going to win the Super Bowl with him.
Well, I know it's not a backup, but Nick Foles isn't a worse quarterback than Trent Dilfer. Brad Johnson won one in Tampa. I mean, Nick Foles was one of those. That's why I bring up Ryan Fitzpatrick. He was a borderline starter that didn't have to do it for an entire season. He just needed to do it for a handful of games, and he had an elite team around him. But yes, if you have an elite team, I'll bet you, like, non-starting, like if you gave me the I don't know, the 49ers or the best roster in football, or a team like Kansas City, I'm guessing that outside of the elite quarterbacks, dude, there's probably 15 guys that you could throw in there that you could, if you got on a heater and the defense played well and he played a great 3-game stretch, you could win with. But you just have to have all the pieces in place. The crazy one about Philadelphia is in the biggest moment, their defense let them down. Well, except for the sack at the end, but New England went up and down the field. They couldn't stop the Patriots. It's just that the mighty Bill Belichick, if you want to say that there was one Super Bowl that was on Bill, it's that one, because, his defense kept them in a lot of games. They were mostly low scoring. That was the one Super Bowl where his offense was great and his defense completely no-showed. I mean, Philly just went up and down the field on him.
Well, rest in peace, Nick Foles. He is retiring
with $73 million and a Big Johnson and a Super Bowl ring, and will never have to buy another meal in Philadelphia again.
That's crazy. $73 million, a statue, a Super Bowl ring, and what else did you say? He put the USDA stamp on his dong? Oh, a big dong.
Yeah, I mean, remember after that, all the players were talking about how
Life
he
is good.
He was Big D. He was Big D Nick. And when an NFL locker room nicknames you that, come on. You're in an NFL locker room, there's some Shankos walking around. So Nick's doing just fine. He's probably got a hot wife. And he made a Pro Bowl, Super Bowl champ.
Tell you what, somebody brings up Geno Smith.
Yes.
Look, that's a great one, because if the Seahawks do make a run with Geno Smith, I don't think they will because of, Geno Smith.
Yeah.
But if they do, great one.
Yes.
Great point.
100%. Geno could absolutely, he could be that guy. If you put an elite team, and I don't think Seattle's elite enough, but Geno could be a guy. Like if Geno was this and he was a backup in Kansas City, if Geno Smith was the backup quarterback for the Kansas City Chiefs or the San Francisco 49ers, in fact, the year that Purdy's elbow went noodle on him, Geno Smith as the backup on that team, they could have won a Super Bowl. That team was legit.
All right. Open segment next on The Fan.
It's time for a Ducks Report, the inside story.
pick, and they eked out a win over the Raiders. So it really was like, it's weird. It was 5 games, and he was kind of bad in 2 of them and really good in 3 of them, and now is a legend.
Well,
and has $73 million.
Yeah, just a strange career.
And I can confirm a hot wife.
Well, of course.
Yeah,
$73 million. We'll do that.
Probably a great golf game, I'm guessing.
Yeah, life's good. How old is that guy? Is he even 30?
I think he played 11 years in the league, and he was a senior when he came out.
Did he really play 11 years?
He played 11 years.
Guess Nick Foles' age.
Well, I'm guessing that he stayed all 4 years at Arizona, so he probably came out at 22, 23, played 10-ish to 11 years. So, I don't know, 33.
Nick Foles. Oh, are you guessing?
No, I was going to give you the answer,
yeah.
but you already
35.
Okay.
Yeah, he's 35.
Now he just gets to hang out and, I don't know, do Nick Foles things. Probably speak, I don't know. I think he's a church guy. Probably does a church group.
Just hang with the kids.
Yeah.
Do some charity stuff.
He'll be like Joey Harrington. Go to the Super Bowl ring. And more money. But not
what was
as
I going to tell you?
Not as good hair.
Andrew Nemec has entered the chat.
What's he yakking about?
Well, I guess, he's coming up after us, is why I say that.
Mm-hmm.
So stay tuned.
Oh, yeah.
But
recruiting then.
I guess the Niners have a KU offensive lineman that's been kicking some butt.
Hell yeah. Rock chalk, baby.
And I had no idea who he was.
A Niners fan, had no idea who he was, but Nemec tells me the O-line coach has been gushing about him, and that says he's a really special player, started with the ones, and has not given up the spot since.
Oh, look at that.
Boom.
So get excited about Dominic Pooney.
Was there any doubt coming from Kansas?
Dirt and Sprague wanted me on today to talk about the Jayhawks.
Oh, they're doing the dirty poll with...
Yeah. He's got Kansas 22nd, I think.
Wait, you said they wanted you on. You just said, no, that's too early, or what?
Well, I had to golf. But also I told him, I'm like, dude, I don't know anything.
Why did they think you, of all people, would be able to talk about Kansas football?
Rock chalk.
Well, I went there, and I'm a huge, awesome sports guy, so shove that straight up your little kid ass. But also, I think I'm awesome, and I would be great for their show, but it just didn't work out today. Look, I told him, I said, preseason stuff is stupid. Like, everything I say will be wrong. I don't know anything anyway. Let's just talk once they're 7-0 going into the Kansas State game.
Okay.
Have you seen their schedule?
Pretty soft?
Dude. Butt soft.
Is Kansas going to be a top 10 team
going
into that game?
They have a hell of a coach, and they have a hell of a quarterback.
Yeah, but
other than that,
he's always hurt.
That is true.
That dude is like, I feel like at any given time, is the Beaner still there?
I was just looking that up.
Did Jason Bean leave? Because I feel like it was every time I tuned in, I had no idea who the quarterback was.
No, they're going with Cole Ballard. That's Wes Ballard's kid. Or not Wes Ballard, but the Chris Ballard, the Colts GM. Yeah, and he played a little bit last year too.
Don't.
You're right. Jalen Daniels needs to stay healthy. But
I don't know. I'm terrified of that Linwood game they've got.
Yeah, they're going to win that game.
Are you certain? I mean, that's dude.
Read their schedule, dude.
Lindenwood?
I dare you.
That's tough.
I could see them winning this game. I could see them losing this game.
I dare you.
And then they got at Illinois, UNLV, West Virginia, TCU, Arizona State, Houston.
Come on. Yeah, Houston. I don't know what Houston's got, but
I don't know either. But yeah, that look,
and that's
it's not a murderer's row.
That's 7-0 going into Kansas State.
Yeah. And then you got Iowa State, and then of course the greatness that is BYU. At BYU, do we road trip to Provo?
No.
You want to go to see a game of Provo?
I do not.
Come on, we'll get on a plane. We'll go down.
Not only no, but F no.
I'll show you around Provo.
Anyway,
that hurts my feelings. You won't come to Provo. With
listen for me and my rock chalk musings on the morning show at some point during the season.
Okay, I'm excited.
I'm gonna come on there.
All right,
we're gonna break some bread. I'm coming hard.
What?
Or whatever they do. All right, I think we gotta go.
Do we?
Yeah,
that's correct.
We're done. We didn't get to our NFL Nutella today, so we'll have to do that tomorrow.
But we did do Olympic oxtail, and I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, I'm glad you.
Well, oxtail's delightful.
I'm glad you liked it.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, Joey Harrington will join us. That'll be exciting. But up next, it is time for Club 1080. We have a new Yellowstone star, and ISIS versus the Swifties. Next on the Fan. Sup? What you guys doing?
Just watching some punts.
Thinking about some windows.
You guys need windows?
Maybe. If I buy some, do I get some for free?
So
that's really what I'm looking for.
Great points.
I'm not paying for all the windows.
You do.
I only want to pay for some of the windows.
Yep. You guys know my bros at Window Nation are hooking you up with some windows. Buy 2 windows, get 2 windows free, plus pay nothing with no interest for 2 full years right now.
I love that. Can you tell me how many windows I can get?
As many as you want.
I want that math. I want you to do some addition. What if I buy 6 windows? How many windows do I get?
3.
I don't think that's
No. If you buy 6, you get 12.
Glad to know that you're on top of it.
You get 6 free, right?
Yeah, 6 free, bro.
You just said 3.
Well,
I don't want 3 free windows. I want 6 free windows.
Well, you'll
for a total of 12 windows.
You will get 12 windows.
Thank God.
Buy 2. right there.
I don't know. I couldn't tell you who that is. Oh, are those the McCourty brothers?
Because they look like twins.
They look like twins, and so that would make sense that McCourty is on the call for the Patriots. So that's got to be the McCourty twins.
Yeah,
look at
whatever.
me piecing stuff together.
Look at you. What a sports guy you are.
I'm watching for punts. I'm checking out twin brothers. I'm watching Bailey Zappi do Jackass. Let's go. I don't know why, too, that I've decided to hate the Carolina Panthers. I'm rooting for them to be the worst team in football again.
Who's their coach?
They fired Frank Reich, and they hired
the guy who outed himself for being
Canales. The Tampa Bay
Dave
guy.
Canales?
Dave
Dave.
Canales.
That's right.
Yeah, he outed himself for being a porn degenerate. That
addicted
guy.
to porn and cheating on his wife and everything.
Yeah.
And
but now he
found the Lord.
Now he found God.
Wrote a book about it.
He is one of us.
You found the Lord too? He was a beta theta.
He was a beta theta.
He was a beta theta.
That's underrated. I'm sorry.
You like the beta thetas?
He was a
He
beta
was a beta theta. Beta thetas. Yeah, I do know that. See, I like that.
It's
That's
amazing.
That's one of my favorites that I've had in a while. Again, it's the tone of it. The inflection.
This is a conversation that I've tried to have.
All right. Yellowstone is wrapping up the show.
Yeah, I think they're trying
Not the geyser.
They're trying to film. Yeah, if that thing wraps up, we're hooped. That's like one of those like super volcanoes. If it blows, we're all dead. Yeah, they're trying to film like 5 episodes because Kevin Costner told the creator to go F himself. And so now they
Wait, I thought they already did that.
I think they're filming them right now.
Because they say it's coming out in November.
Yeah, so they're either finishing it or they have already finished it. But yeah, I just want to know how the main character that the whole show's around, they're just going to come back and be like, well, he's gone. Like Costner refused to shoot like a death scene. So it's just going to be like some weird off-camera thing where they're like, well, that's the end of that.
Someone's going to get a letter from the Pony Express. He's not with us anymore.
See, we go back to Costner being kind of a bite in the ass.
Yeah.
Like, why is he refusing to... Like, if they have to kill him off on the series because he can't shoot the series, why not... I mean, what is his problem?
I think there's bad blood between
him
and
he
the
hates that
Sheridan
guy.
Yeah,
Taylor Sheridan,
Yeah.
you can tell he hates that guy.
Yeah.
He is screwing that guy over right and left.
100%.
And he might be right, might be wrong. I don't know. I don't know who.
There is no way
It's an
that
ego
thing
off.
is not an ego off when you have the most successful show on television. It's one of the biggest shows in years. The whole show is based around you, and because you want to go do something different, you just tell them, in the middle of the last season, you're like, I'm not coming back. And they're like, all right, dude, can you come back and shoot one Nope. You can't come back and shoot one episode, one goodbye. Yeah, no, I'm not
So
doing
he's just
that.
going to be gone.
He's just going to be gone.
Do you
And
think...
they're going to have to explain it away?
Is it possible that Costner secretly hates that show and he thinks it sucks, but he's doing it anyway? And so now and if Sheridan says anything, like gets a big head about anything, he's like, dude, I'm not doing your stupid show. I am the show.
Yeah.
It's him and actually the girl.
Rip and...
Well, Rip's good, but the
daughter.
the girl,
Beth.
she steals the show. Like, she's really good.
By the way, punt. Yeah, but that like you can't continue the show. They ended the show because Costner. So in a swing and D-off, Costner won. He's like, great, do the show without me.
Well,
and
I
they're
think
like,
that's what I mean. I think Costner knows that he is really the backbone of that, and it's not that good anyway.
Yeah.
And so he's like, I'm fine. I'm out.
I kind of appreciate the fact that, and I feel bad for the others because
I mean, you don't see that a lot.
No,
Before a show wraps, the main star
he's
is
just
like, I'm out.
I'm out. Well, think about this. For everyone else, because Sheridan has a good career and he wrote Sicario and he's fine. Like he's a well thought of guy. Everyone else on that show, this is by far the biggest thing they've ever done, and it's not even close. Like this was a juggernaut. This had names trending. Rip and Beth were trending in our country for baby names. It was that popular. #1 show on TV. And Kevin Costner is such a star that in the middle of that, he was like, yeah, I don't want to do this anymore. He's like, I want to go do my own thing. You know the rest of the cast has to be livid. You want to talk about like Kevin Costner is USC and everyone else is the Pac-12.
He's their meal ticket.
Yeah, and he was like, yeah, sorry guys, I don't want to do this anymore. Can Kevin, you make a lot of money. You don't really have to work very hard. And the rest of us get to live in the land of milk and honey. Yeah, I'm not going to do this anymore. And quite frankly, I don't care because I have Oscars and a lot of money. So go pound sand. I kind of appreciate that power move. It's a D move, but I appreciate he's the one guy that's like, I don't care how much money you pay me. I'm not doing this.
Yeah, you ruffle his feathers.
Yeah. And he does seem like the sort of guy that if you do piss him off, it's not about money.
He's like an F around and find out guy.
Yeah. Like,
you want to mess with me, you little son of a bitch?
I'm not doing this.
Watch this.
Take my Oscar and cram it somewhere.
Resourceful little bitch. Shove that straight up your little kid ass. So Yellowstone is coming back, I think November 10th, they said, without Costner. It's the final
5 episodes.
5 episodes, and then that's it. Because we've already seen the first 5 episodes of the last season. They split that into 2 parts.
And they were done.
So the next thing is we've talked before about the 2 spin-offs. They had I always forget the years. They had the one with
at 1883 was with Tim McGraw.
Yeah, and I thought that one sucked.
Yeah, and Faith Hill, and then they had 19 something
12?
with it was like 1912, and that had Harrison Ford and Helen Mirren, and that was pretty good.
It was very good.
Yeah,
and that's all Taylor Sheridan. Well, I guess there's another one in the works called it was originally titled 2024 because he's naming them all by the date.
Yeah, can we come up with a better?
Well, he changed the name of it.
Okay, good.
It is no longer 2024. It is Madison. Oh, it's called The Madison.
The Madison.
Yeah, it follows a New York City family in the Madison River Valley of central Montana.
Oh, I was like, Madison. Like, this is a bit of a departure if we're going Madison Avenue.
So they're basically saying it's Yellowstone brought up to modern day.
Okay. It's a Bumgarner spinoff tribute.
Yeah, pretty much. Who's the because the
star.
The rumored one,
Madison Bumgarner,
was he would fit that Rube. The rumor was for a long time that the spinoff they wanted well, it wasn't even a spinoff. They were trying to get McConaughey to come take over the Yellowstone role in some way, and McConaughey's like, dude, I am not stepping into Costner's shoes.
Well, hello there.
It's a female.
Of course it is.
She's a hot.
I do like that.
Or what it is
what?
I mean, she's up there in age now. I'm speaking of the great Michelle Pfeiffer.
Get right the hell out of town.
She's gonna star in it.
She's gonna be the main gal, huh?
And be an executive producer, apparently.
All right.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Michelle Pfeiffer in a long time.
Yeah, we were off on the years. 1883 was the first one.
I said that.
1923 was the second one.
I had no idea which one that was, or what year that was. Michelle Pfeiffer, by the way, still looking good. 66.
Yeah.
All right.
I haven't seen her in years.
No, I can't remember the last thing she did.
So she's going to be on the Madison.
Okay.
And they don't know when this is going to come out. But
yeah, they're going to keep spinning that thing off forever and ever and ever because someone probably keeps handing Sheridan a bunch of money.
All right, up next. Did you see what happened in Vienna with the Tay-Tay show?
Yeah.
Did you see that?
Yeah, I did see that. I felt it was horrible for some people flew, like, there were some bad beat stories out there from people.
Bad beat.
Well,
like losing a bet.
Well, think about it. You spend $1,500 to catch a flight, and you rent hotel rooms and all that stuff, and then it's like, yeah, no.
It is 6:13 on the Fan.
The Fan is live on
Ryan Cooley on vacation still, it sounds like.
Is he allowed to take vacations?
What would you say you do here?
Shouldn't he be selling something?
He's not here.
Slacker.
Short break. Good thing I didn't have to squirt.
P schedule's getting better, is it? You're on that Super Beta Flow Max Joe Theismann was hawking for a while.
Well, I had to squirt.
Whatever happened to Joe Theismann?
Dead.
Yeah, he was selling prostate pills for a while. And then he disappeared.
Did you ever hear the story that his last name was pronounced Theismann until he was a Heisman candidate? And then Theismann for Heisman rhymed, so he changed it?
No.
Get right the hell out of it.
I don't know if it's an urban myth or if this actually happened, but I have heard this tale before.
I do know that.
I did not know
I
that.
do know that.
I do know that.
I am an ignorant boob? I had no idea. Now I kind of want to see what Joe Theismann's up to. He's 74. He probably looks great with fake hair and a super tan, facelifted face.
Hey, we have Kevin Costner running on the text line.
Ooh. I'm intrigued by this. I love me some Kevin Costner, but I'm fully prepared for this run-in to be terrible.
I took care of Costner in Eastern Oregon in the late 80s in the LeGrand emergency room.
Oh.
It was both he and his wife at the time who fell on searches for movie sets. I don't know. This guy, I don't know what he meant by that.
Well, if they were doing like a location scout, like they're checking out areas and somebody fell.
I think he's trying to say that Costner fell on the set, and he said he was a complete gentleman.
I like it.
He had 2 flat tires getting from the hills of Wallowa County back to LeGrand. No pictures from that era.
That makes me happy.
Yeah.
Because I
complete gentleman.
I want to love Kevin Costner, but it's much like Will Clark. I'm afraid that he could be an ass. And by the way, Joe Theismann, he's a speaker now, and all it says under his speaking fee is under $25,000.
Okay.
So that's what he says.
I don't think I'd want to hear him speak.
Losing his successful football career at 35 to a serious injury, Joe Theismann learned firsthand how to think, analyze, and reinvent in the face of adversity and change. And you don't want to hear that?
No.
How dare you?
I don't.
Yeah.
I think football guys think too much of themselves sometimes.
He'll tell you how to manage to win. He'll teach you about game plans for success, the challenge of change. Still nothing?
Correct.
He will also sell you a copy of How to Be a Champion Every Day, 6 Timeless Keys to Success, according to Joe Theismann. I don't like your attitude right now.
Do you think he ripped off the 6 Timeless Keys of Success from another book? Because I do.
Hey, it's a whole speaking network here where we can, hey, Theismann's a bargain. Theismann, because it says that Theismann is under 25. Terry Bradshaw is going to run you between 40 and 70.
He's a little more dynamic, probably a little funnier.
Tony Dungy over 70.
I don't know that. Do you think that Terry Bradshaw has a good message?
No. I think he's probably funny, but I don't think it's a good message at all.
Yeah, see, I don't think Theismann has a good message, and he's not funny. So I'll go Bradshaw over Theismann. And who'd you say? Tony Dungy?
Tony Dungy's over 70. That's going to cost you.
Yeah, I mean, he's probably got the best message of any of them, but also don't care.
What about Mary Lou Retton? Olympic gold medalist? And how about this? Under 10. Huh?
Under 10,000?
Under 10,000. That's a bargain.
Yeah, I don't...
Not do anything for you?
No.
What about Gary Player?
Isn't she broke? Ooh, yeah, Gary Player.
I think she's broke, which is why it's under 10,000. I bet you could probably get Mary Lou Retton for 1,500 and some Chipotle.
I think Gary Player would be good.
Yeah, Player's on there. We got Jay Billis. You get Mo Rivera. Ooh, Mo just says contact for rates. That means that's...
I wouldn't want him.
Mo's expensive.
I think he'd be sneaky boring. Jay Billis would be good.
Yeah, Billis is on there. Ray Lewis is on here.
Now, there you go.
Yeah, Lewis would be good. Buster Posey's on here.
One of the most boring humans on the planet. Great baseball player. Like watching paint dry, like doing an interview with him. It's like vanilla. If vanilla chose vanilla as their favorite flavor.
Yeah, it's just a whole list. It's something like it's the Washington Speakers Bureau, and you can just go on there and they got a little bit of everybody.
Let's say your life is in shambles.
Jim Abbott, under 25. That's a nice bargain.
And you're about to die.
Yeah.
And you have to pick one notable speaker to lift you out of your doldrums, or you die.
That's pretty good.
Who are you choosing?
It might be Ray Lewis.
To speak to you.
You ever heard Ray Lewis speak?
Yeah.
Dude, Ray does a good job.
He'd be good.
Doesn't he do a lot of churchy?
Yeah. It's churchy, but it's like Ray's got some pregame speeches that are out there that are pretty damn good. Like and plus I think I'd be terrified of Ray Lewis, so I think that might inspire me as well. I'm trying to think of other people that I've heard that are really, really good speakers.
Did you say Obama?
Snowflake.
He died like a dog. There was a lot of shooting. There was a lot of blasting.
Obama would be really good.
Yeah,
he'd be very inspiring too.
Yeah, he's a good speaker.
Yeah.
I can't do like the Tony Robbins guys because they just seem so hokey to me. And I don't know what they're ever successful in other than speaking.
Was it McConaughey whose seminar you signed up for?
I still get emails for that hunk of crap. Still get them to this day. Yeah, I'm just trying to think of the person that would be the most uplifting that I feel like would
Michelle Obama would be good. She'd lift you right up.
What is she lifting me up about?
She's
no
inspiring.
offense to Michelle Obama, but what did she do besides marry Barack?
Well, she's been through a lot.
What?
Well, she's a woman.
She married Barack Obama.
She's a black woman
that married Barack Obama. Look, I'm not trying to talk ass on Michelle Obama.
A lot of people think she's very inspiring.
Hey, her brother was the coach of Oregon State basketball. I don't know if you heard.
I'm asking 100% question. I'm not trying to be a sexist ass, even though I understand that's probably what it sounds like. Outside of marrying Barack Obama, what did Michelle Obama do?
Well, it's not what she's done, it's who she is.
Someone that married Barack Obama. Is she going to teach me how to marry a president?
She's a great person with a great message.
What's the message?
She's very uplifting.
Marry a president?
And very strong and tough and bold.
How?
She's a beacon of hope.
Well, yeah.
Why?
I don't know.
She's a black woman. A strong black woman.
Okay.
And that scares a lot of people that look like you.
Does
black,
it?
please. Thank you. It does. Yes, it does. It definitely does.
All right.
She's a badass.
I don't know why she's a badass.
Well, she's a great writer. She's a great speaker.
Is she a great writer?
Yeah, they say she is. I haven't read any of her books, but
do you think she's
written
one of her own books?
Dude, her books are
her books sell. She ain't writing them.
Her books fly off the shelf.
Right, but she's not penning them.
Well,
she might have a story people are interested in.
I don't think you know that.
Does any celebrity write their own book?
Now read the book, Jason. She was pretty accomplished.
Yeah, bitch.
Accomplished? I don't know. What did she do before
Why
Barack?
does she have to do something? Why can't she just be a great person that people want to hear from and be inspired by?
Well, normally if I'm listening, you said someone that's going to inspire me. It would have to probably be someone that's done something that I aspire to or that is an inspiration to me. Like, I listened to, Marcus Luttrell, the guy that it was one of the more heartbreaking things I've ever heard. But he was the guy that the Lone Survivor was based off of, the Navy SEAL. Like, I left that thing in tears and inspired. Like, that was like, oh my God. But like, there was a theme around that. There was like, hey, this is what happened. I don't know. I'm not being an ass. I'm asking, if I went and listened to Michelle Obama speak, what would Michelle Obama talk to me about besides being the first lady of the United States, which is pretty cool. But I don't want to hear Laura Bush talk to me about it, or Melania. Oh my God, can you imagine that? I'd put my head in an oven.
You're not going to be inspired by Melania?
You want to talk about, that, I'm not even going to touch that one. But yeah, that's a whole other ball game. She hates that dude so much. It's like, that look of just absolute disdain, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, I'm reading through her bio here.
Yeah, what did was she
She went to Harvard Law.
Oh, that's cool.
She studied sociology and African American studies at Princeton.
Very impressive.
Before Harvard Law.
Right.
Then.
So she was an attorney.
She became. Yeah, she specialized in intellectual property law.
Okay.
While at a firm in 1989, she met Barack Hussein Obama.
So I would be listening to someone impressively that went to Harvard, became a lawyer, and then married Barack Obama.
Well, no, I'm not done. She went, so she then, from 92 to 93, she was the assistant commissioner for the Chicago Department of Planning and Development.
I don't know what that means.
She founded the Chicago branch of Public Allies, a leadership training program for young adults. She served as the branch's executive director until 1996. Then she was associate dean of student services at the University of Chicago, where she was organizing the school's community outreach programs.
Dean Bitterman. Right.
And then Barack ran, and she quit that job to be on his campaign.
Yeah, and then wife, mother, and first lady.
Yeah, and mother. We forgot that part.
Mother, the toughest job in the world. All right, well, it's impressive. Would I be inspired? Probably not.
Well, I think the first lady part is, when you're the first lady, you got to do a lot of stuff.
Do you?
Well, I think you do. You don't have to because Trump's wife didn't. But I think a lot of them do. They have their little causes, and they go out and do. Like her big one was supporting military families.
Mm-hmm. But
the other one was childhood obesity. That was a big one for her.
But wouldn't I just listen to Barack because he was the president? No offense, but this is like when Lady Di, when they're like Lady Di,
But I do think she's doing different stuff than what was important to him. Like it says here that her 4 main initiatives were healthy families, supporting service members and their families, higher education, and international adolescent girls' education.
Yeah, there you go.
So I don't know that Obama's doing all that.
I think all do that. The first ladies or first husbands.
Yeah, it could be.
They just get their causes and they go party in those realms.
Okay.
That's what they do.
All right. Well, people like her. People love her. To bring it around, would I want her to speak to me and inspire me? Probably not.
She's amazing.
I'm going to pick someone else.
And I guarantee you she would inspire the living crap out of you.
I want that one. Have you seen the I forget his name. I think his last name's Kim. He's an Asian American. The dude he's a doctor, he's a Navy SEAL, and he's an astronaut. Have you seen that, bro?
No.
I want that guy. There's a guy out there. His name's I think it's Johnny Kim or something. Just look him up. He graduated. I think he's a surgeon. He graduated medical school. He's a surgeon, and then he's a Navy SEAL, and he just qualified a few years ago to be an astronaut. That son of a bitch. Those 3 careers, you're a doctor, a Navy SEAL, and then for S's and giggles, I'll just go and be an astronaut. No offense to Michelle Obama, I want that guy to talk to me. With that guy. I understand the community outreach and all that. Give me that dude.
Give me Hulk Hogan. Of course, I'm kidding.
Feel better, brother. Kid Rock.
Kid Rock. Oh, God.
Yeah, his name's Johnny Kim. Look up that guy. It's the most. If you ever want to feel, although maybe this is bad. Like I was gonna say, if you ever want to feel bad about your life, look up Johnny Kim. He's the age of 40, and he's already accomplished. He accomplished more probably by the age of 23 than anyone else will ever do in their life.
Yeah, he's probably boring.
You think so?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Sometimes, and that's the thing. That's when you speak and you motivate. You don't have to have I'm trying to think of somebody who's really accomplished, who's just awful speaker, like Belichick. You want to listen to Belichick speak? No.
This guy I want.
Deshaun Foster.
This guy I want to hear speak. He graduated. He graduated high school in 2002. He got a Bachelor of Arts, summa cum laude, in mathematics from the University of San Diego in 2012. a doctor of medicine from Harvard Medical School in 2016.
That's pretty cool.
He was a Pat Tillman Foundation Scholar Athlete in 2017. He was an All-American swimmer and water polo player. Then he joined the Navy, and because his whole life, his goal was to become a Navy SEAL. So he enlisted with the Navy in 2022, and he became that. And then after that, while I guess he was still a Navy SEAL, while studying at Harvard Medical School, he met and was inspired by an astronaut physician named Scott E. Perzansky to apply for the astronaut candidacy. And then on June 7, 2017, he was one of 12 candidates chosen from a pool of over 20,000 to join the astronaut group. And he managed to accomplish that.
Look, that's all great. But again, it does not make him an effective communicator.
So you're telling me you would rather listen to Michelle Obama than that guy right there?
I would definitely like to listen to Michelle Obama. I would also like to listen to him, but I would be prepared for the idea that he's dull.
They're both standing in front of you. You only get to hear from one of them.
Obama.
But can you reach out? I'd like to get Johnny Kim on the program for the club. I want to hear what this cat's got going on.
Sure, I'll see if we can get Johnny Kim.
What else? Like, what's he doing? He's just hanging out.
Probably wants a fee, right?
What? No, he's just, I don't know. He's an astronaut now. I don't know what he's doing.
Okay, well, give him a call.
Yeah.
Do you want to hear the 8 necessary traits to being a great public speaker?
Sure.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Concise, ability to read the room, enthusiasm, self-awareness, authenticity, knowing how to dress, and adaptability. That's it. None of those are anything on anybody's resume.
That's true. And when you do get a good public speaker, it's impressive to watch someone that can control a room like that.
Well, and there's always speakers that blow you away. They're like, wow, I wouldn't have been interested in that, but they were awesome.
Yeah.
Because of those things.
I heard Dick Vitale speak once, one of the best sports speakers I've ever heard.
He's great.
He
He's a good one.
He was really good.
I'd like to listen to him.
Yeah.
I think he'd be really good inspiring public speaker.
It was a very entertaining, he was very passionate, and he just seemed like a good guy. I very much enjoyed listening to him speak.
Yeah, all right. We got to nothing there that we wanted to. Not sure
Well,
why.
we've determined that you want to hear from Michelle Obama, and Suk does not.
And we're not getting Michelle Obama on the program, but maybe we could get Johnny Kim. Not to be confused with Johnny Sins. We can't get him on the program.
We do know Michelle's brother.
That's true. I still don't think we're getting Michelle on the program.
Yeah, probably not. But we do have an in. Uncle Craigie.
Yeah.
We think.
Good luck with that.
Wonder what he's doing now.
I don't know. He's not being a Navy SEAL, a doctor, or an astronaut. And when Johnny Kim walks into a bar, which one of those do you lead with? Like Johnny's in there trying to, he's getting iced out by some gal. What hat do you put on? Harvard medical doctor, astronaut, Navy SEAL.
Well,
Go.
I think you can't really brag about being a Navy SEAL, can you?
Really?
Well, I don't think you're supposed to do that, are you?
I think
aren't those guys pretty?
Oh, dude,
they're supposed to kind of.
They all wear Navy SEAL hats though and stuff. I mean,
give little hints.
Yeah,
little breadcrumbs.
Navy SEAL.
Hey,
tattoo.
ask me about my hat.
Check this out. Well, I wouldn't wear a Navy SEAL hat.
Craig Robinson is now the executive director of the National Association of Basketball Coaches.
Okay.
So, very title-y title.
Just asking, like, what's the go-to? Because those are 3 panty droppers.
I think it depends on who you're talking to.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to read.
Hey, Red Danny.
Any good, one good trait of a great public speaker is being able to read the room. And if you're trying to get in some panties,
yeah,
you have to decipher
you gotta know.
in your head which one would impress that particular woman the most.
But we're going. I need a ranking out of you.
Give me the 4 again.
Well, he's not. He's a Harvard doctor. He's a Navy SEAL. He's a freaking astronaut.
Probably. I'm probably leading with Navy SEAL, but
yeah, that's the answer.
then I'm going astronaut.
Wow, Harvard doctor goes last.
That's boring.
Kind of agree,
but cool. But I mean,
very impressive.
Not
but
cool.
not
Impressive, but not. Yeah. And then if I had to, I might go astronaut. on some of the ladies.
Yeah, I think astronaut works a little better than
I think if they're nerdier,
yeah,
I'm going astronaut. Yeah. If they're a little bit more like, the
little white trash.
Yeah, a little trashy
little
America
trashy,
kind of gal. You go Navy SEAL. You probably get laid right on the spot.
Yeah, and then if they're a little uptight, then you break out the
yes.
Sorry, this is my Harvard class ring.
Yes, uptight or bougie.
Yeah.
Then you go Harvard.
Boy, that guy's got all of them covered. He has every base covered that you could. And then if worse comes worse, he just takes off his shirt and is like, "Oh, sorry,
I'm going to show you my boobs."
So incredibly ripped.
All right, we got to go. I forget what we were going to talk about. It's 6:36. Here's Buck.
Now,
Like, how hard would it be for someone to, fill up a van full of explosives and then just drive through the fence and head to the middle of the crowd? I do think about that and how easy it would be. And when something like that happens, I don't know what you do. I don't know how you stop any of that stuff other than this. You catch it before it happens.
Have we checked in on ISIS lately? What do they got going on? I thought we wiped them out.
Yeah, I don't think that they're...
they'll tell you they've never been wiped out.
And would the Swifties take them out? Can we sick the Swifties on them and maybe it'll end it?
Well, I think ideas probably never die. And I just don't think that they have like a big organization anymore. Plus now I saw a thing on Netflix a while back about this. And this is kind of the new wave of terror they're saying is the online stuff, because you don't need a bunch of money, you don't need a home base or anything like that. You can just radicalize people online, and you get kind of the Lone Wolf McQuaid type stuff like this. Well, you got 3 of them, but I mean, think about that. You get 3 guys that are pissed off about whatever. They read a bunch of propaganda online, they get all worked up. Next thing you know, you can go to a concert and lo and behold, there you go. I've said it before, it actually surprises me that we don't have more of that stuff that actually goes through. Because again, it never seems that hard to me to, when you see these plots, they're never that elaborate. The ones
and it's always dum-dums carrying them out.
Yeah, it's not like it's Johnny Kim isn't that, it's just some idiot. Who were the 3 morons, right? They were planning to kidnap the governor of like Michigan.
Yeah, there were like 6 of them.
Right?
And I listened to a whole podcast series on that. They were total idiots.
Morons.
They were just disenfranchised, angry online people.
Yes, and that's usually what this is. But nowadays, sometimes that's all it takes is a couple disenfranchised people that get their hands on some stuff, and away you go. But it's always shocking how many times the ones that do end up being successful, like there's a million warning signs. I told you I read that book on Columbine. Dude, that thing could have been stopped 1,000 times. That thing went on for like 2 years. If anyone had their head remotely not up their ass, that would have never happened. Same thing with the is it Brandon Lentz, the Sandy Hook shooter? Oh my God. Like, how many warning signs were there? Some of the people that commit these shootings are literally on watch lists. And yet somehow they still get their hands on guns, and then no one seems to monitor it, and then they go shoot a bunch of people. But at least in this one, again, online chatter. That's the other thing, is most of these idiots talk about it to other people, and, because they're stupid and they can't keep their mouth shut, and they get caught.
All right. On that uplifting note, we will try to say something offensive before Andronimic takes over.
Yeah, see what we can do.
See if we can do it next on The Fan.
The home of Dirt and Spray.
Man.
Out of context.
Very incriminating.
It's not good.
But it's okay.
Well, it's like, again.
It doesn't bother me.
No. But if you ever, if you ever had your text messages leaked without context, it would be the worst thing of all time.
I've heard it asked, what would you rather have leaked, your text messages or your internet search history?
Dude, internet search history 100 times over.
You would rather have that
You'd rather
out?
have that out there?
Yes. Oh
Why?
my
Do you say
God,
bad
yes.
stuff on text or something? What's the matter with you?
Horrid things. Horrid things.
Would they get all the insurrection planning and all that on
Well,
there?
I don't want my plan to kidnap a governor to be leaked, for God's sake. Got to keep that close to my vest. We were, the last time we went down to, we do a golf trip every year down to Reno or Tahoe, and we have a group text going, and we did have, because we were all out in the, the actual, the lake, and I don't remember who brought it up, but someone was like, dude, if there was